Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Cup of Dusk. My name is royzoga. Roll that R as always. Tonight I'm running a content clinic with the help of none other than PumpkinPotion. PumpkinPotion. Whoa, had the double there for a second. That was crazy. But welcome in, everybody. What'd you say?
I said, honestly, what's a stream without a little scuff?
You know, we have to have a little bit of scuff. If there wasn't a little bit of scuff, it just wouldn't work out, you know? But welcome in, Pumpkin. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, welcome in PumpkinPotion. She's going to be helping me. Actually, I should check that. What are your pronouns?
I'm she, her, please.
Okay, she, her it is. She is going to be helping me out tonight with a bunch of content creation related questions, topics, discussions, and things of that nature. So if you're curious about getting into VTubing or just want to learn more about content creation as a whole, be sure to get those questions ready in chat. Just for tonight, we've lowered the cost of highlight message to the low cost of 300, so you get it once per follow. As my shirt pops open.
There it goes.
There it goes.
There it is.
It was bound to happen.
We knew.
It is bound to happen.
We knew.
Now, Pumpkin, I'm super happy to have you here, and I really appreciate you coming on just as much as I appreciate Devin Quigley Art. I like that follow. Yeah. But thank you for coming on. Same with, oh my gosh, guys. Wait, I'm trying to thank Pumpkin for being here. You gotta give me a second. You gotta give me a second, saying the Silky, okay? I appreciate you. Thank you. Well, listen, thank you so much for coming in. I'm really excited to be able to talk to you and spitball some content creation ideas, and especially be able to help those out there who are looking for some guidance or some tips, tricks, and advice on how to get into this wacky world of VTubing.
I am happy to oblige.
Hell yeah.
I have quite the background in as far as like community building, social media management, and things of that nature. I've been doing it for 10 years on the professional level.
Oh.
Yeah, I've worked with EA Games, I've worked with Ubisoft, I've worked with Cygames Japan. I've worked with a number of world indie companies doing exactly just that. Building brands, building IPs, building building community around a specific figure or game. So I hope that my expertise comes in handy for you.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it definitely will. I mean, I'm sure plenty of us out here have seen the type of content that you put on, and especially enjoy and appreciate when you put on your own little content clinics as well. Because
Thank you.
You know, not being little, but being on you know, our own little side of the internet, it is great to have people that are willing to support the community and give back when they are able to.
120%. Yep. Agree.
So, you already talked a little bit about your background in content creation, which is kind of crazy to think about, that you've been in it for so long. I'm sure many out there. Yeah, I'm sure many out there are very surprised to hear 10 years, 10 plus years.
10 years.
Oof.
About 10 years. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
insane.
I left the video game industry in October of last year, 2021, and I picked up VTubing and debuted officially in December last year.
Oh.
And so I have not even been in the VTuber community for an entire year yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm still, in a sense, still kind of like the new gal on the block, sorta. So.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely glad to have you here as part of this community. I definitely think that we need more people like you that are willing to use their experience and kind of speak up in a fashion that's in easily consumable and digestible content for people to understand without sugarcoating things. Because I have heard those takes. Some of them have been a little bit, you know, spicy.
Yeah.
So, but not nearly as spicy as those 100 bits. Thank you so much, Blue Cater, for the 100 bits. We really appreciate it. Okay, so we talked about how long you've been in VTubing, which is less than a year, which is...
Less than a year.
That is insane.
8 months.
That is insane. I myself am just a little over a year. I got back into VTubing in June of 2021 with a PNG. But it feels like I've only been in it for a year because it's when I started the cafe like 8 months ago.
It's weird how the time moves too, because I feel like I just started doing this like yesterday. I was like, I still feel very new to it. I know that I'm not now, but I still have that feeling of I just started doing this, and I'm trying to like be on the same like level as everybody else professionally. And even though that I know I am, my brain still is like, no, you're new at this. Like, you haven't been around. Everyone else is out having their 1-year anniversary, their 2-year anniversary, and I'm just like, hi, I've been here for 8 months. Like, you know, it's weird.
It's funny because I actually, I kind of just assumed because of the way that you speak, because of your experience and everything like that, that you'd been in it for longer than I have. Yeah.
Nope. Nope. Most people have been in the VTuber game longer than I have. I'm technically still the new dame on the block.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The old new dame. The old 1930s dame.
Exactly.
Well, I certainly do believe that old has never looked so good.
Thank you. I like to think that a dame takes good care of her ink and pencil, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
I got 91 years on me. It takes a lot to look this good, okay?
Oh, I feel that. Do you know how long it takes me to get my face looking this good in the morning? It doesn't. I'm a VTuber.
I was gonna say, doesn't it just automatically look like that when you wake up?
Yes, it does. Exactly.
Love it. You'll love it.
All right, so we talked a little about how long we've both been into the VTubing. Why exactly did you transition from this lifestyle of managing game companies and communities around them into VTubing? What was the big driving factor?
That's a story.
Okay.
You want to hear the long version, or do you want to hear the normal condensed version?
I'll hear whatever you've got.
All right. So basically, I'll give you the condensed version. Basically, I worked in the game industries for 10 years. I worked for various different projects. Probably a lot of the games that you guys know and love, I have had a hand in. But with all things in the video game industry, especially a few years ago, you know, the stuff that happened with Blizzard. If you know, you know, and I'm not going to go into it because it's very heavy, very adult stuff. But triggers and all that. So, but if you know, you know, it was happening with Ubisoft, it was happening with Blizzard, it was happening with a bunch of other companies, and there was a lot of whistleblowing going on. And I, unfortunately, was one of those people that was severely mistreated. So I took it upon myself to make a decision, and I went, I can stay in this very toxic industry that treats people the way that they do, especially if you are feminine, female, or female presenting, as I am, or I can take a chance, take a leap of faith, and try something else that I really, really wanted to do, that I'm passionate about, that I know I'll enjoy. And so it took some time to really think about it, and it meant taking a plunge into something that I didn't know would pan out. Like, that's part of the risk, right?
Yeah.
So I could be financially happy and depressed and miserable, or I can do what I love and maybe not be as financially stable. Those are your balances. So I took the leap. I said, I'm done. I don't want to wake up doing this. I love doing what I do, but I don't like the mistreatment that comes with it.
Yeah.
So I took all of my experience, all of my training, all of my knowledge, and I packed it up in a bag, and I went, see ya! And I took off. And that was in October. And I had a whole month. I'm not even gonna lie to you, Roy. I had a whole month where I went through a breakdown crisis of, oh my God, I just left my job of a decade, and it was a very high-paying, high-level career, and I did that for VTubing. So that's exactly, like, I had factual breakdowns. Like, I definitely remember crying at the table going, what have I done? But at the end, I realized that it's anything that you love or that you have interest or passion in is worth taking that risk for.
Yeah.
Even if you don't succeed, it's at least showing that this is important to me and I want to try something new. It's coming out of your comfort zone and being willing to do that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did. And I sat down for the entire month of October and I started watching VTubers. I started watching just different VTubers, different aesthetics, different designs, different ways that they held their own content and did their own streams. Anything from like live streams to clips to YouTube content.
Mm-hmm.
And during that month, I sat down and did that, and I started doing like almost like a research phase of, this is what I want to be. This is the niche that I want to fill. This is how I want my aesthetic and my branding to look. Unique, different, but something that's still inside the VTuber sphere, like the genre, right?
Yeah.
And then once everything was compiled, I made my own model at the time. Did everything that I could do to get myself prepared. And December 12th, I was like, nope, first stream. Boop! and I was very surprised at the amount of people that turned up for that debut and have stayed permanently through the entire experience.
Now, was that your first experience with streaming ever?
No.
Oh, okay,
no.
okay.
No, I've done streaming for the companies that I've worked for. I've gone to conventions, and I've been the face for community management for a lot of those companies. So it was very common for me to walk around in crowds and be in clips and and such like that.
Okay.
So I'm very familiar with Twitch and the front and back ends. But it was my first time doing it for myself, which felt very freeing. It was very freeing because I wasn't doing it for somebody else. I was doing it because I wanted to, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what brought me here. That's why I'm a VTuber, and I had so much fun with it that I took the plunge and made it my full-time career, and this is what I do full-time. I stream full-time.
Well, that's fantastic. I definitely think that's a very inspirational story. And it definitely, I kind of want to follow suit. I'm not going to lie, but I'm not to the level financially yet. There are unfortunately some outlying mitigations and financial responsibilities that I have that I cannot quite do it yet. I have plans to and desires to, but it won't be until at least the end of this year.
Well, make sure that you are in a safe position. Like me, I had a small safety net. It wasn't like a big several thousand. Like, I mean, it was a safety net of where I looked at, and I had to do the math and go, I have enough money to survive for 4 months. We have to make this decision now.
Yeah.
And if you are not in a financial position, if you are in a situation where I can't pay my mortgage, I can't pay my rent, I can't make my car payment, like, you are not ready yet. Continue to save.
So, at least with me, I made that decision and I made that jump last August.
Oh, okay.
And it didn't work.
Yeah.
And I lasted about 3 months before I realized it wasn't working. And even though I had more savings that I could like wait and be like, no, I might hit it, I ultimately decided no, like I need money.
Yeah. You have part of being in content creation full time is you have to be so careful about your finances. You have to actually plan. You have to look at your metrics. And I see all the time, I don't like numbers. Numbers make me feel bad.
Oh my God.
Well, if you want to be in content creation, numbers are going to be the difference between I eat today and I don't eat today.
Yep. Yeah, quite literally.
So you better get used to them really quickly. I understand that that's very like harsh, uncomfy, like, advice, but that's the be all end all of it. You have to know your numbers. You have to be comfortable with your numbers.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to do that, you don't eat today.
Yeah. It's just ironic because it wasn't until after I failed at going full time, because I did, like, I didn't make the goals that I wanted to accomplish when I set out, and I ultimately decided to pull back from it again and then refocus. That's when I came up with the cafe, and that's when I actually that's now I could, if I didn't already have the financial debt and responsibility or financial burden that I have now. Right. If I was doing this well back last August, 100%, no doubt I would have stuck with it. Yeah. But you never know. Like, you never know where you're going to take off, and you don't.
It's risk.
Yeah.
Like I said, I could have debuted in December and things may not have worked out. What if I debuted in December and people didn't like my music? What if people didn't want to come to my piano streams? What if I wasn't able to make the goals that I need to make sure that my family was healthy and taken care of?
Yeah.
That is an inevitability, but you just have to weigh the pros and cons for yourself if that's a risk you are willing to take.
Yeah, definitely. Now, that is obviously a huge piece of advice when it comes to getting into VTubing. Whether you can go full time, whether you exactly know what it is that you want out of VTubing, things like that, I think are a big thing that a lot of VTubers need to be thinking about. But if you could pick maybe one big tip, what is one big tip that you would give to VTubers now that are getting into VTubing or even content creation for the first time?
I'll give you one that's broken into two pieces.
Sure, hit me.
When you first start making content, that content is not going to be good.
Yes.
Not going to be good. So one of the biggest pieces of advice that I'm going to give you, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, when you first start making something, and you first put out your own video, don't over-criticize it. Don't sit there and go, oh, how come it's not as good as Roy's stuff? Or how come it's not as good as Pumpkin stuff? How come it's not as good? Like, the worst thing that you can do is compare your experience and your abilities to another person in the industry that's been doing it longer than you.
Yeah.
That's straight up, because we have years of experience ahead of you to know what we're doing. You're just learning. And it's not fair to you as a content creator, as a new person coming into this, to set yourself up and your mindset up for failure because you are comparing yourself to somebody that's on a completely different level than you, on a skill level.
Yeah.
It's not fair. So be gentle on yourself. If you're worried about, oh, I don't think my content is good, stop it and just send it out there.
Yeah.
Just make the thing, send it out there. Because the only way you're going to get better at something is to actually do the thing.
Yeah.
So, you can take months and months and months going, well, this is what my VTuber is going to look like, and this is the idea I had, and this is my background's going to look like. That's all well and good. But if you never actually press the start button to start streaming, these are just ideas rolling in your head. You're not building or making anything.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you just have to go out there, come out of your shell, and just do the thing.
Yeah. And I know it's where we get a big term. I know some people may consider it a negative term, and I apologize for putting it out there. It's usually where we get the term VTweeter as opposed to VTuber. Because we do
I've never heard of VTweeter before.
You've never heard that before?
No. I've been in community management for years, and I've never heard that term. What is it? Can you explain?
So it's someone that's in the VTubing community that has a relatively sizable Twitter following or audience, but doesn't actually make content, doesn't actually stream, doesn't put out videos, doesn't put out TikToks, but has a seemingly sizable Twitter audience, and thus has, what's the right word, pull in the VTubing community. Like, people will look to them for VTubing related, like, advice.
Yeah, I understand. I've seen that in my Twitter feed.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a terminology for it. I thought it was like clinically pre-debut.
I think VTweeter is usually seen as a bit derogatory because people are like, well, I'm a VTuber too, but I know other people will call them VTweeter like negatively. Because,
so it's seen as more of like a derogatory, like,
kinda, yeah.
Like, you don't know it, you're just a VTweeter. You don't know what it's like to be a real VTuber.
Yeah, that's kind of where it comes from.
I understand.
But that's the group of people that you're describing is the people that are constantly like, this is what my model's gonna look out. Here are my new backgrounds. You guys want to see a preview for my new model? Here's the new reference sheet. And then just like 6 months later, we don't hear anything from them ever again.
We have a very commonly used expression that we use for this. It's called shit or get off the pot.
Wait, one more time. Shit or get off the pot?
That's exactly what I said.
Woo! Okay.
It's like, It's like you either, it's like don't just stay on the toilet. You have business to do.
Mm-hmm.
Do your business and get out of the bathroom.
Oh my god.
Like that's basically what that means. So like the expression is shit or get off the pot.
Oh, shit or get off the pot. Okay. I thought it was shitter, like SHITTER. Like shitter, get off the pot.
No, shit or get off the pot.
Got it.
Shit or
Got it.
You turned it into something so much more aggressive.
I thought that's what she said. This is why we clarify things. You know, it's difficult sometimes. I'm also not the most intelligent person ever. So, no, I 100% agree with that. I think in VTuber, because I didn't really tell you too much about my own background.
Let's hear.
I've been in content creation for a little over 5 years now. I started as a face cam streamer back in August of 2017, and I have done so many different types of content that have failed. So badly. The thing. All right, so started with just playing games, got into speedrunning. Yep. Speedrunning took me to maybe trying to do like community-driven things like playing Smash and Mario Kart and stuff like that, to then also experimenting with YouTube and doing anime review and Power Ranger review and more speedrunning stuff. And then I tried to run a cooking and baking channel for a while. I have done so many different types of content over the past 5 years and failed at everything except for VTubing. And VTubing was the first time that it just clicked, you know?
Popped off. Yeah.
So I 100% get what you mean when you say shit or get off the pot. But the funny thing is I've been a part of so many different communities when it comes to content creation. You know, I've been in the cooking and baking crowd. I've been in the anime YouTuber crowd. I've been in the speedrunning crowd, especially. That was my biggest one. I've also played a ton of fighting games. I have never seen other communities do like I have so many plans. Here's what's gonna happen. Like previewing stuff and then not doing it. It only has happened in the VTubing community.
Like that's the thing. Is like if you're gonna make content, plan your content and then make that content.
Yeah.
You know, and there are step by step, and this is what a lot of people don't realize. There are step by step processes like that you can do to create that content. But it's just that a lot of people have so many different ideas that they just flounder around with stuff and nothing gets done because you're daydreaming and focusing about all these different things, but you're not focusing on the step-by-step process and how to start something, go through the stages, and then end up with completion. And that's the problem. That's the issue that you run into with that stuff. So yeah, that's generally my advice. Like if you are going to do the thing, plan to do the thing and follow through with the thing. That and start small. Because like I have easily, and I'm very, very transparent about my metrics, what I do, how I spend my money. I have easily between December and now dropped $7,000 to $8,000. Easy.
Makes sense to me.
And it's between like audio equipment, you've got preamps, you have I mean I had a lot of audio equipment anyway because I'm a musician professionally.
You're a musician?
I am.
I had no idea.
You know, so I had a lot of that stuff anyway. But we're talking, you know, then I made the jump to start getting like custom backgrounds, like custom model work, custom rig work, custom emotes. And, you know, and now I've got a team of people working on Unreal Engine for me. And it's like you take these baby steps as you go forward, but you can't expect to be at this level from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like
of course.
it's unrealistic. And if you can spend as little amount of money as possible, that's your best bet. Like literally that's your key to success, because you're not going to be able to afford $7,000 out of the gate. I don't know many people that can. But it's something you gradually work up to.
Yeah.
And not just because what if you say I want to be a VTuber, before you even start streaming, you go out, you buy a $400 microphone, you buy a $300 stream deck, you buy 3 extra monitors, you buy a $450 iPhone, you buy all the cables you need. A Go XLR is going to cost you $600. And you know, every single thing that you do is going to cost is a huge money sink.
Yeah.
So then you press start one day and then you realize, hey, Twitch isn't very fun for me. I don't want to do this. And congratulations. You've dumped in $4,000 on equipment that's going to sit on the shelf.
Yeah, it's especially with VTubing, I see it a ton because on top of all the other things that you mentioned in terms of equipment, model is another big thing that a lot of people jump into. And it's in the VTubing community, never have I seen people jump in headlong more than anywhere else. I'm very fortunate in the sense that I've been doing content creation for 5 years. So like when I leaned into VTubing, my investments were, funny enough, I did PNG first anyway, even though I had full intention of going model. But when I went to model, that was the only thing I had to buy. Like, cause I think I started out like no overlays, but like, I just PNG and no overlays, and then model and overlays, and then but like I didn't need to buy a new mic because I already had one. I already had a computer, like. Small investments over time. And I saw Alara talking about it as well in chat. She's also very, very vocal when it comes to not spending too much money or not jumping in headlong. The big thing is that you need to have realistic expectations, especially when it comes to spending money.
Because everything is a money sink. And what I mean by that is if you spend $4,000 on equipment, that's not like, oh, I spent $4,000 on equipment, move on. No, you have to recoup that $4,000 in order to make profit. Because streaming as a full-time streamer is a business venture. Like, that's the thing. Like, it is fun, and it's streaming. You get to do what you want to do, but realistically, this is a business venture. So if you put $4,000 in, you have to make that $4,000 back. That can't just be like, oh well, I spent this. Like, you have to be able to go, I spent $4,000. Am I going to be able to recoup that in subs, in donations, in whatever this? Can I do stuff on Coffee? Like, you have to constantly be in the state of, I'm creating content. Yes, because I enjoy it and I want my audience to enjoy it, but at the bottom end line, you still have to put bread on your table at the end of the month. And that $4,000 came out of your pocket.
Very much so. There's that big misconception that you'll just make money right away, and that, oh well, I'll just put this in now and then 2 months from now I'll make that all back. And it's like, I've been in content creation for 5 years. I've only in the past like 4 months started making like a sizable amount of money. And even then I'm still ridiculously in the red comparatively,
Like those are sinks that you have to do and be willing to do and financially able to do stably.
Also remember, everything is a tax deduction. Everything is a tax write-off.
Oh my god, yes. If you buy like Bic pens, I'm just like, I went to the dollar store. I spent $79 on these. Look, pens.
Tax write-off.
Tax write-off. I got 3 cents back from Uncle Sam. Everything.
I wrote off my vacation, or I'm writing off my vacation from this year as a tax write-off because it technically was to a gaming and music convention where there were indie game developers that I got to meet and network with. So immediately I can be like, tax write-off, because it technically was for business.
Every little pen, every cord, every replacement of anything, desk lamps, fans, it does not even matter. If it has anything to do or can be listed under, I use this for business purposes, write that bad boy off. Just do it.
Oh yeah.
Get every cent you can back.
100%. I think TwitchCon as well. I think most people should probably know that you can write TwitchCon off.
TwitchCon. You can. You can. If you're a full-time streamer, you can go to TwitchCon and write off all of your expenses. We're not talking just the tickets. We're talking like if you have to travel to get there, you can write off like your airplane fare. You can, like any meals that you have while you're there. If you go to Subway because you're hungry during a day at TwitchCon, you can write that off because it's actually a meal expense for a business trip.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta know. You gotta know those things.
It is insane. And that's like the money aspect of it. And I think, unfortunately, in VTubing, and I didn't run into it as much in most of the other communities that I've been part of. And I always find it really odd with VTubing that a lot of people are very vehemently against speaking about money and speaking about like making VTubing a business, specifically that the business aspect of it, that people like shy away from it or feel like we can't talk about that. VTubing can't be a business. It's, you know, it's how I feel like I express myself. You can't turn that into a business.
That's a narrow-minded and incorrect assumption.
Yep. I 100% agree.
It's extremely narrow-minded and incorrect. For example, Sega just recently is still in the process right now of doing VTuber episodes for the Tales show.
Oh yeah. I saw that.
Yeah. And they're really cute. I hope that the guy playing the Tony the Tiger VTuber for Kellogg's was paid well. That's all I'm gonna say on that. That was an absolute. It
was a travesty.
We'll go with that.
I genuinely no, I agree. I feel bad for them. I genuinely do. You could tell that they were not prepared. They were not prepared for VTubers. They weren't prepared for furries. They weren't prepared for Twitch.
Like, Tony the Tiger already had a stigma about it.
Yeah.
Which Kellogg's clearly didn't know because whoever's doing their community management is tone deaf. So he was dealing with the furry community trolling him. He was dealing with the VTuber community trolling him live on Twitch doing this, and he couldn't react to it because he's under a corporate statement, so a corporate agreement. But as far as like the whole corporate thing is concerned, I actually think it's a great thing because we are now seeing that businesses are seeing this as a viable thing. Mm-hmm. We're seeing more people showing interest in it because of that. Yeah. And we're gonna see this stuff more normalized. It's not gonna be like my cool kids niche corner anymore. And the wider we have acceptance of something, the more normalized it becomes, and people are comfortable with it. People think it's neat. Yeah. So I think that's just weird gatekeeping. I don't know how you feel about it, but I definitely feel like gatekeeping.
I hate it. I haven't felt it as much since I first got into VTubing. Because like I feel like when you first get in, you're making quote unquote smaller friends, or not that the friends are small, but like you are a small content creator making equally sized small content creator friends. There we go.
Right. Yeah.
Some of them will be like, well, I'm just doing this for fun, or I'm just doing this because, you know, COVID, or I'm doing this because, you know, whatever reason to escape reality. So like as soon as you start talking business, they're like, well, you know, I just want to have fun. And you're like, okay, well, I can't talk to you about this then because it shuts down the conversation. We have nothing in common in that sense. Like, okay, that's it. And I saw, not see anymore really, but I saw so much negative backlash against people that wanted to make VTubing a business. Not as much anymore, but it blows my mind.
No, I'm a lady that likes to stay in her lane. I do what I do, you do what you do. Mm-hmm. And and all the power to you. If that makes you uncomfortable and you want to stay in your little niche lane, mm-hmm. like that's perfectly acceptable. Like you're doing that for a hobby, you're having a great time. You don't have to worry about metrics and numbers and income and profits and all this thing that you would if you treat it like a business, which it is. But if you're doing it full time, this is the reality of it. You know, you can't treat it like a hobby. You can't guerrilla stream. I don't feel like streaming today. I'll do it tomorrow. Or maybe I'll do a stream at 9 p.m. and then Wednesday I'll do a stream at, I don't know, I just finished lunch, so I could do a stream, sure. Like, you can't do that anymore. Like, you have to be a little bit more professional about it. And some people just, that's not their vibe, which is totally fine.
No, I definitely get that.
You know, like, the first time that I met a good friend of mine, Cab, we're both giant metrics nerds.
I love Cab.
Cab's a heckin' bestie, and I the first time that like we started to really get to know each other and be close friends, it was kind of like one of those, oh my god, you're into metrics? I'm into metrics. Oh my god, what were your metrics last week? And it just kind of turned into this ridiculous like derping about metrics, and it's so nice when you have friends that have that same level of interest and drive and motivation that you do, you know?
Yeah, I've got a surprise for you. You may not know this about me. I also very much like metrics. Why would you shart that? Oh my god, that's the worst timing to shart. This is why we can't have nice things.
This is why, yeah, that was poorly timed.
Yeah, that was terribly timed.
But aside from that, you like metrics?
I love talking about metrics. I love being able to sit down and analyze trends and things that are going. It's actually something I've been trying to do this month because, and this is something else that I actually wanted to talk to you about, because there's the whole concept of there being bad months, and I know Cab covered this specifically.
Oh, bad months are a thing.
Yes.
Bad months are a thing, and people take them way too personally.
I take them too personally.
We all do. We all take them personally.
Yeah.
Like you can't look at a situation because that's just how the human brain works.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like a VTuber specific thing or a streamer content creator specific thing. That's just how human brain comprehends and functions things.
Yes.
You see something that's not as good as the month before, and your brain starts to go, why wasn't it as good?
Because people are sharding. That's why it's not as good, because people are sharding.
We can't leave you guys alone for 5 seconds. Stop drinking milk. You don't need that much milk.
You don't need that much dairy, guys. What are you doing?
You don't need dairy.
Shh. Thanks for buying a cup. You know what we do need, though, is we need Swoogie Doo with a cup of coffee. Thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Swoop.
You can't tell me what to do, Pumpkin.
How dare you?
They're calling you out.
I know.
All right.
I expect it. I'm used to this.
But yeah, no, I 100% agree, and I'm still trying to come to terms with accepting that there are just genuinely bad months. However, I've also been trying to use August as an example, which I've heard is a terrible month for content for everybody.
August was, I'm not a good example of that. But yeah, August. That's only because August for me was the month right after my birthday. So I had a big birthday celebration in July, and then the following payout is August. So it was just like I was getting big birthday stuff in August, and everybody else was like, "This is the worst month I've ever had," and I'm over here like, yeah.
That's why it's the worst month. It's because of the sharding. But we did reach a hype train and a glitch perspective. Thank you so much for gifting a sub to PumpkinPotion.
Thank you.
Velpepper VT, thank you for the follow. Devin, thank you so much for the 100 bits. Guys, thank you so much for the support. We made it past level 1. But no, I 100% understand what you mean. Especially in the sense of thanking Benjamin Oskett for buying a cup of coffee for Secret Subject.
Hell yeah.
No. All right. Focus. I get what you mean. August specifically, I know and have been told on multiple occasions that August has been a bad month for everybody. Not necessarily monetarily, but more importantly, viewership-wise or numbers-wise.
Yeah, that's usually the case.
Yeah.
That's because it's the end of summer. A lot of younger folks are going back to school, going back to college. And you're not seeing the viewership as much. So people are out and about doing their own thing rather than being like cooped in. So it's that way across the platform. It's not just you.
So it's funny because at least now I'm a little bit more okay with it. But towards the beginning of the month, I was already starting to notice the trend. Or honestly, towards the end of July. And I started feeling it and noticing it. Like I felt, I like when someone has broken bones and they feel the rain coming, they can feel it. I felt that. I could feel it coming, you know? So like when you did your
That's
content.
a thing?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, it's like
That's a thing?
It's like a sixth sense for rain. Yeah, it's an actual thing. You can feel when rain is coming in your bones because there's a change in atmospheric pressure, which affects your bones. So like it's an actual scientific thing.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I learned something weird tonight. Okay.
I thought that was really common knowledge. I was gonna say rain smells too, so you can smell when rain is coming as well. Like there's a lot of cool things.
I can smell rain.
Okay,
I can smell rain, but I just didn't know that people that had busted bone. I've broken my wrist before.
Yeah.
So, but I'm like I'm not like like Raiden, God of Thunder. Like I don't know when this stuff is coming. You know, like this is not normal.
I can feel it in my forehead, because I busted my skull open when I was a child.
Oh.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's an experience.
Yeah, that's a story for another time.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time.
Oh my gosh. The story now is, though, Glitch Perspective, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Cabal. I don't know if Cabal actually knows who I am, but thank you for gifting a sub to them regardless. So, viewership-wise, I know, I think, was it July that you did your last, like content discussion, the one that I came in and was, like, super, like, talkative during? So
yeah, it was July.
That's around the time that I could feel the content drought coming. I felt it in my bones. So I saw that you were doing it, and I was like, let me get in there, let me start talking, because clearly, like, you know what you're talking about. You're you know, an industry legend, and I needed more information to prepare for this, and unfortunately, no amount of preparing that I did actually leaned into helping me. If anything, it negatively impacted me. But the thing now that I realize is that it's okay to have these off months, and it's okay to experiment. I learned about the channel percentage viewership, like of, hey, this percentage of your viewership watches this from you. I didn't even know that was there.
It's actually a huge important piece of your metrics, because that's your demographic.
Yep.
Every streamer has a demographic, which is why like when you go into different streamers' communities, why those communities just have such a wild difference in heck yeah.
Oh yeah, we got a raid. Welcome in, Raiders. What is going on, everybody? My name is royzoga. Roll that R as always. Welcome to the Cup of Dusk, the cafe where I bring in various VTubers around the internet to improv, sketch comedy, come out with roleplay. More importantly, today we're doing a content clinic with PumpkinPotion.
Pals, how you doing?
Welcome in, Raiders. Hope you're all doing fantastic. If you have any questions pertaining to VTubing or content creation as a whole, be sure to use the highlight message redeem, and we will do our best to get to it, or just participate in chat. You know, you never know. We might answer some questions of yours, some dying, burning curiosities. But in the meantime, Pumpkin, you were talking about the preparation and the drought of numbers and things of that nature, specifically preparing and your audience. Yeah.
So, before the raid came in, I was talking about, like, demographics, basically. And every streamer has a demographic. Like, that's how you get the difference between, like, some streamers being say-so. I hate that terminology. Yep. I don't like that we coined it. I think it's, I frankly think it's dumb.
Oh, God.
But,
we got another.
What?
We got another one? Okay. All right, one more time. One more time. What is going on, everybody? My name is royzoga. Roll that R as always. Welcome to the Cup of Dusk at the cafe where I bring us various VTubers around the internet. We do improv, sketch comedy, come out with roleplay, but more importantly, tonight we're doing a content clinic pertaining to VTubing and content creation as a whole, specifically with the help of the legend herself, PumpkinPotion.
Thanks for buying it.
Good evening, pals. I hope your day's going aces. Hope your day's good.
Welcome in, Con. I hope you had a fantastic stream. Thank you for bringing all these wonderful people over to the stream. If you guys are interested in learning about VTubing or content creation as a whole, stick around and check. Smash that follow button. You'll instantly get enough channel points to get the highlight message redeem, which will be the easiest way for us to see that you have a question. Or, you know, stick around. We might be answering content-related questions the entire stream that you just might want to know about. And Pumpkin, please take it away one more time with what you were talking. We'll get a third raid, don't worry.
Yeah, I'm gonna start about demographics, and all of a sudden she's gonna be like, raid! Yeah. Like, okay, wait, just stop. Just go, do your thing.
Or that.
or we get that. Thank you. 200 bits well spent.
That's very true.
You could have gone to Starbucks for that. And fall starts right now, pals. Because no, we got fall starts right now because Starbucks said so, because they started their fall drink line today.
I'm in.
Today.
I'm in.
Today.
I'm in.
Get yourself some pumpkin spice.
I love pumpkin spice.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Why the rip music? No, that's a good thing. Oh my goodness gracious. Ruinous Inferno, thank you so much for the 4 months of support. And Benjamin Oscar, thank you for gifting me sub to Con again. Thank you so much for the huge raid. I hope we can entertain your people and answer some big questions. Pumpkin, please, before somebody else interrupts you.
Oh my god, yeah, okay, I'll get this rolling. So every streamer you have to learn your what's called a demographic.
Mm-hmm.
It is what type of stuff that your community likes.
Mm-hmm.
It's the type of content from other creators that they actually consume. So I can go into my Twitch stuff at any point on any platform. I'm on, like, TikTok, any of the platforms that you are on, and you can see the other stuff that people are looking at, people are reading. What are they into? Do they like art streams? Is 30% of your entire community really interested in art streams? Are you an artist? Maybe consider doing an art stream or trying something from an art stream.
Oh my god.
So
it always scares me.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, as a streamer, you have to be trying new things all the time.
Yeah.
There's something in the industry that we call content fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
This is a real thing.
I wanted to talk to you about this so much. Please continue.
Yeah, content fatigue.
Yeah.
So content fatigue, and the best way that I can describe content fatigue is to people that don't work in this industry have you ever like watched something on TV or like watched a movie and they put the same stupid commercial in it over and over and over, to the point where like you're gonna watch it the first time, and then about the 16th time you've seen it, you're like, I'm done with this commercial. I'm so done. And you're just annoyed. You don't pay attention to it. You pick up your phone or whatever. That's called content fatigue. That's what happens when you see something so much that you're just sick of it.
Yep.
So it's so important to be able to continuously change and evolve your content, because if you're just doing the exact same thing over and over and over and over and over, people are going to get real tired of that, and they're going to go on, they're going to find a streamer that's doing more trendy stuff, more modern stuff. So like what you were talking about, Roy, like when you were talking about like you've dipped your hands into different content creations, you've done everything from like cooking streams, and you did VTuber streams, you did like, and this was you figuring out what your niche content was going to be.
Yep.
You tried different things, you looked at the metrics, and you were like, this isn't sustainable, people aren't interested in this.
Yeah.
So you moved on to something else and tried something else. That's what you have to do. You have to try different things until something sticks that your audience really enjoys, that's unique, different, but familiar enough that people are comfortable with it at the same time.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's my 2 cents on it anyway. Like, you have to know your demographic to create content that your community is going to stay for.
Yeah.
Because if people come in, see you for 2 seconds, then peace out because you're not doing anything interesting, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So specifically what I wanted to bring up, at least, and this is, so content clinics generally with me, guys, I'm going to give you this warning. There's going to be a little bit of tipping the veil or seeing behind, the smokes and mirrors.
Yep.
Part of the reason why I wanted to talk to you about content fatigue. So I don't know if you know this. I ran a small Twitter thread back in June of this month, or of this year. And I asked people, and this was after, I think either right around the time I hit partner or like a day or two before, a day or two after, something like that. But right. I asked, I was like, hey, what VTubers do you want to see come to the cafe? Advertise yourself, show me what you got. I want to see your content. Like, I want to meet new people. And it did. And the thread, blew up. I got like 500 something replies. And from there until the beginning of August, I had literally that entire time frame planned, like scheduled for 2 full months.
Yep.
And the entire month of July, I did 3 cafe streams a week. Now, I firmly believe this now, and I understand it much better. I firmly believe that not only did I burn my audience out on it, but I burned myself out on doing cafe streams.
You were doing how many a week?
3.
Yeah, that's intense.
Yeah.
That's a lot, Roy.
People ask, well, Roy, how'd you get so good at improv? I cry a lot. I cry a lot.
We stream and then we leave stream and we go to our bedrooms, hug our knees, and go like, it's over.
It's okay now, but the issue was that from July into August, it was 3 cafe streams a week, and the cafe and my improv and my sketch and improv comedy is the reason I made partner, because my clips started doing well from that, and everything was centralized around that. So in my brain, I was like, oh, this is what people want to see, so let me give them more of it. And because I did that, I just gave them way too much. They got fatigued. I got fatigued. Yes, oversaturated was the word that I kept using. And now that I'm realizing that, we've cut it back to once a week to try and kind of like drip it a little bit more. But I still want to be able to do these content clinics because I think it's important that we share these ideas and these mess ups, especially because we're not perfect either. You know, we make mistakes, and it's very important that I think people understand that it is okay to make mistakes, especially when it comes to your content, because even though I feel like people have told me many times, August is a terrible month, it feels like August was a bad month because of me, because that lined up perfectly I oversaturated my market and August was a bad month. So it's just like a perfect storm.
You had a double whammy.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. Yeah, like I do my piano streams on Sundays. If I did my piano streams any more than once a week, I would run out of music to play. I would run out of songs to sing, people to entertain, and people would get tired of hearing the exact same song over and over and over and over and over and over and over, day after day after day after day after day. And that's content fatigue. You know, you can hear me play the same music. I mean, I learn new music every week, but you can hear, you know, you're going to get tired of hearing Dr. Wily's Castle on the piano Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like, you're going to get tired of hearing that without me having time to work on new content, to practice new pieces, to et cetera, et cetera. So that's why I always do it just on Sundays. If you want to hear piano music, you can come back 7 days from now and hear more of it when I've had time to unwind, practice, and learn new things. Because otherwise, it's going to be content fatigue. People are going to go, okay, one piano is the same as every single piano stream, and they're never going to come back. And that's not what you want. And that's the exact same situation that happened to you. You oversaturated because you were trying to accommodate, you finally found that niche that people were interested in. And then rather than moderate that, you were like, let's just go in, boys. And you just dipped in really hard. And because of that, your viewership for that content lessened because they were getting too much of it.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's the balance of content fatigue. Is if you have something that works, you need to, make sure that that's moderate to where your audience isn't going to get sick of seeing that same thing, because you yourself are going to burn out from that as well. You're going to get tired of going, oh God, I just want to stream a video game. Man, I just want to hang out and do just a just chatting, but I've got another collab to do. And it's a really great way to embitter yourself as well to streaming, and which is not healthy mindset.
Promise not to yell at me. So I love video games. I do. Do you know how many times I streamed video games in July?
How many times?
Twice.
Why would I yell at you for that?
Because the rest of the time we're either just chatting or collabing with other people.
God damn it.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So that just couples on with it, with what you were saying, and why I was so thankful when I came into your stream in July, because that's when I started noticing it. I was like, shit, I have the rest of July planned, and none of it is gaming. None of it is anything but the cafe or collabs with other people and people that I'm trying to get to know better, and things like everything was basically with the purpose of making content, or with the purpose of growth, or with the purpose of, this is my best thing, let's do it. Instead of anything else. So, and I get that better now, and because again,
I'm glad. I know that factually makes me really happy that you realize that, because that not only says that, hey, the stuff that I'm teaching people works, but also the fact that you figured that out and you were able to take the tool that somebody else gave you, apply it to yourself, and make yourself a better content creator through that experience.
Well, I hope that I could be a better. I'm still working on it. I'm still working on that part.
We're all still working on it.
Yeah.
Even I'm still working on it, and I do my best to mentor other people as I can, but it's never going to be a journey that gets finished. You're never just going to be good at it.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, more recently, I've been trying to experiment with more modern games, or more mainstream games. So I went through the whole gauntlet of I played Fortnite, I played Valorant, I played Apex. All of those three only one game was actually enjoyed. So even having those bad streams, which was Fortnite and Valorant, I found that my community likes Apex. And despite having 2 really, really bad streams, I found that I have one casual modern game that my audience enjoys. So then by being like, you know what? I'm already in the shit. I might as well experiment. Like, let's roll around and see what I can pull out. And those are the situations that I always want to tell people. And it's always, I think, what I don't mean to toot my own horn, but it's always something that I've loved to do, and something I feel like I've excelled at. And I talked to you a little bit about my background. I've done speedrunning, I've done cooking, I've done Power Ranger videos and anime. Like, I do things. I try things. So with
Twitch streamer royzoga, he does things.
I do things. Just do it.
I just want that to be the tagline now, like royzoga. He does things.
It's true. But I think that's a big thing. I genuinely think that if you fail, it is okay, because there are things to learn from failure. And that's kind of what I was trying to get back around to.
You can't be afraid of failing in anything that's content related. Like, if you are afraid of failing, it means that you are going to be afraid of trying, which means that you are never going to get anywhere. You're going to be too busy spinning your wheels. You have to move forward. A good example of this is I just put out like a acapella thing on Twitter like the other day, and I started working on that at 3 in the morning. It was like this random thing, and I was like, yeah, work. Yeah, let's do this thing. Like, this could work. And before, I am the type of content creator that is an over perfectionist, and that comes from being a musician. Like, I will sit there and I will play the same thing over and over and over and over hours until it is crystal perfection. And I don't hit a single wrong note. Nothing sounds out of place. Like, everything is just like, I could perform this at an opera house. But I realized something going into my level of perfectionism is not my audience's level of perfectionism.
Yes. And
this is something that I had to learn just like recently. And I had a friend drill it into my head that was like, you know what? Do 10 takes of this. You get 10 takes. That's all you get. And then move on to the next thing, and you do 10 takes of that. And you move it on to the next thing, you do 10 takes of that. And whatever the best takes out of all of those are, that's what you put together, that's what you mix, and that's what goes out there. And you know what? That's exactly what I did, which is why I was able to get a piece of content out between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. I went to bed, I woke up, and that damn thing had 3,000 likes on it.
Hell yeah. We love to hear that.
I'm happy about it, and I'm proud of it, but at the same time, it just makes me realize, like, I would have been in my recording studio rolling that and rolling that and rolling that and rolling it and doing it over and over, because I had the sense of my content has to be perfect, and it doesn't.
No, it really doesn't.
It doesn't. It does not have to be perfect. People are not going to notice these tiny little minuscule things that you are going to notice, because you are your biggest critic.
Yes, 100% of the time. Yeah.
Yep. And people don't care. If it's entertaining,
yes,
and they're having a good time, they don't care. Don't put so much emphasis in it. And I feel like maybe you agree with me or maybe you don't, but I feel like that's one of the major hurdles for people when they start doing content creation and VTubing.
Yeah.
I have to have a model. My model has to look perfect. I have to have a background. My backgrounds have to be like just drawn this exact way. My overlays have to look like this, and I have to have a background that looks like you don't.
So
you don't though.
I got a funny thing for you in that sense.
What's that?
Do you know when I debuted the cafe?
When was the debut for this?
January.
January, like, 2022.
Yeah. It was like January like 19th or 20 something. Do you know when I got my current model and like most of the assets I'm using now?
Don't say Fiverr.
No, when?
Oh, when?
Yeah.
Okay, they said where, and I was like, don't say Fiverr.
No, not Fiverr.
Don't say Fiverr.
Not Fiverr. Not Fiverr.
Don't say Fiverr.
April.
When?
April, my birthday. I launched the cafe with my old model old assets and things like that because I had the idea and I said, fuck it, I want to do this because it is the thing that I am passionate about and I want to see if it'll work, and damn am I happy that I did it. Because March is when things actually started taking off, even before I had the new model and the new assets.
But if you had, and that entire month of March would have gone completely wasted. All of that work from January up until April would have been completely wasted time, doing nothing but spinning your wheels and sitting in your own head of, this would be cool. But instead you were like, no, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna do the thing. And you created content from January all the way to April, and you have something to show for that rather than just sitting on your butt.
Yep.
You know,
make content, people.
Make content. It doesn't have to be perfect content. It doesn't have to be this like just amazing piece of edited Mona Lisa whatever. Like, put out garbage. Just do it. It does not matter. Just put something out.
Definitely.
That's all. That's it. That's really it.
Oh, I do see a question too. We can finally answer a crowd or viewer question. We've got one from Ruby Dead Queen. Content clinic question. How does one properly hype up for a debut/re-debut? I'm afraid not of failing, but of being completely drowned out by others who are more experienced or more interesting than me. From what I've posted, even in tagging VTuber helpers like Mortem Mummy, I feel like I'm just drowned out by those better than me. Oh, I have some words on this one, but do you?
Why don't you take that first?
All right.
I got some thoughts on that, but why don't you take that
So
first?
first of all, I don't know who Mortem Mummy is, so I apologize to them and you. The big thing to remember, there are going to be people that are better than you. If you're just getting into this and you're just debuting for the first time, or even if you're re-debuting, there are going to be people that are mastering their craft now or growing while you're working on whatever. Like when I debuted, or when I re-debuted, there are other content creators that are working, excelling, perfecting their craft. I like to point to Shoto a lot as an indie VTuber because I started watching him when he was a PNG tuber, and he was one of the reasons why I was so willing to do PNG tubing. And then he got a model and he started blowing up, and then the other day he revealed his 2.0 outfits and model and things like that, and he had 33,000 viewers on Twitch concurrent. Does that mean I'm a failure because I only have 117 viewers right now? No. Is Shoto better than me as a content creator? Damn right he is. I also have zero clue what his background is. I have zero clue the amount of work and effort that he puts in, but clearly he must be doing something right and working hard. The thing to remember is there are always going to be people like that. There are always going to be people that are above you. There are always going to be people that are better than you, stronger than you, better creating content than you, funnier than you. There are people that are better than me right now. Pumpkin, I think, is better than me at usually these content clinic things. But the important thing is that you do it anyway, because you're never going to get to that other person's level unless you go out there and do it. And that's the important thing. Being afraid, being nervous is 100% fine. But stopping yourself from doing anything or creating content because of those nerves, because of that fear, is not okay. That is where you have to, pull up your big human pants and push past your insecurities and just make content. Just do it, Shia LaBeouf. Agree. I'm gonna add a little bit to that as well.
Yes, please do. I agree on your points, first of all.
Hey.
The thing is though, is what I'm seeing in that, Queen, is that I'm seeing a lot of concern about not keeping your eyes on your own paper. And what I mean by that is this is an advice that I give people a lot of the time. That be less concerned what other people are doing and how they're doing it, and how you're gonna focus on you doing it. I am somebody that doesn't really give two shakes about a debut. But to me, there are some people that put a lot of heart and soul into debuting in idol culture. I'm that person that went, hey, I got a new model, see you Saturday.
It's true.
Because I just don't care. That's just not me. But that aside, I'm not afraid of failing, but being completely drowned out by others who are more experienced and more interesting than me. Everybody has to start their journey at the beginning. I had to start my journey at the beginning. Roy had to start theirs at the beginning. Mouse had to start hers at the beginning. We all have a beginning point, and that's the point that you're at. So you cannot look at pretty much like how Roy said, you cannot look at somebody that has more time, experience in doing something of this nature and compare yourself to their level, because you are already starting that in a negative mindset of, I'm comparing myself to this person, and that's an unhealthy habit to get into right now.
Yep.
At all. Period. Do your research. This is another piece. If you want to do a big debut, do some research to find out how other people are doing their debuts. Don't sit there and go, their debut was better than mine.
Yeah.
Because that's not the right mindset. The right mindset is, they did their debut this way. What was successful about that debut? Why did people enjoy it or not enjoy it? And what pieces of interest can I take from this debut to apply it to my debut? You're not comparing yourself to them and their experience as a person or as a content creator, but you're looking at what they've created and seeing the reaction of that so that you can take that similar content and create it for something that works for you. But in terms of like just saying, you know, I feel overshadowed, that you're gonna feel that. I still feel that. But you can't let that hinder your progress or the reality of your situation of saying, I'm still learning and I'm new at this and it's okay. Because once you accept that concept of, I'm new at this, I'm learning, I'm not going to be as good, but I am getting there, that's going to make the difference for you. That makes the difference.
I agree with everything you said.
Mindset. It's mindset.
Definitely. It's funny because I actually thought of something to tag on, because you were saying, like the whole mindset conversation.
Mindset's super important.
Yes. There's one emotion that I see gets kind of like shunned immediately before people actually act on it. And it's jealousy. Jealousy can actually be a super strong asset in content creation. You just have to use it in a constructive way. Just in the same way that you were saying, oh my god, these people are going to overshadow me, or oh my god, like this person's debut was so much better. You can look at it and be like, okay, well, if this person's debut was so much better, what did they do differently that was better than mine? And what can I adapt to make my content better? Or what mistakes that I make that I can do differently for next time? So in the jealousy aspect is, oh my god, Roy hit, or Pumpkin or Roy, or both of them hit partner before I did. What are they doing differently that I'm not doing? That's where the jealousy works to your advantage, because they have something you want, and then turning the jealousy into, okay, how do I adapt to get what they have because I want it?
I see a goal that I want to obtain.
Yep.
And these people have obtained it. How do I do the same thing?
Exactly.
How do I see what they have done and utilize that to motivate me to meet the same goal?
Exactly.
But a lot of times I see that turned into Pumpkin made partner in 4 months, and I'm angry because I've been on Twitch for 2 years and I still haven't made partner. But so what did I do to make partner in 4 months? How did I do that? Rather than just be like, I made content, rather than just be like upset, rather than be angry, rather than be embittered, or any negative feelings that you feel from comparing yourself to somebody else, use that as a motivational tool to put fuel in your engine so that you find a way to obtain the same goal that's reasonable for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I saw a second question in there, and it's actually specifically directed towards you.
Oh, okay.
Content Clinic question. This question is for Pumpkin. You mentioned that you studied the VTuber space to find your niche. What did you end up with? What would you consider niches within VTuber space?
That's a lot easier than people think. When you think about like niches, there are a lot of people that are like, oh, I want to be a VTuber, but I want to be different, right? And that's really hard to do when you have 200 new VTubers showing up on the space every day.
Yep.
So what I did is I did something in the content space that's called the 4 pillars. And this is something that I've gone over on my stream a bunch. It's a way to break down all of the things that you enjoy doing into a visual column of checkboxes that tell you whether that niche is something worth pursuing. For example, when I started, I took a piece of paper and I went, here's a list of all of the things that interest me, and don't be shy about that at all. So everything from I like dog walking to I like Coke Zero. Like, I mean, literally anything.
Now serving today's special.
Oh!
Hey!
A raid.
Hey, there we go. It's always when you get into a serious topic. Welcome in, Raiders. My name is royzoga. Roll that R as always. Welcome to the Cup of Dusk. It's a cafe where I bring in various YouTubers from around the air. We do a little improv sketch comedy combined with roleplay, but more importantly, we're putting on a content clinic tonight with the one, the only, the legendary PumpkinPotion.
Hi, fellas. How you doing?
Please continue, and thank you for the raid, Citrus Catastrophe.
So I lost my train of thought. What was I talking
The
about?
4 pillars.
The 4 pillars.
I got
Thank
you.
So what I did to find out about my niche is I did a very common thing in content creation called the 4 pillars. And this is not something that a lot of people talk about because a lot of people don't know this, which surprises me. But you make a column that has everything that interests you. Everything from like I like walking dogs. I know a lot about art. I don't know. I do gardening. Like whatever you're interested in.
Yeah.
Genuinely. And then on the first column, you're like, do I like this? The second column after that is, am I good at this? Like, am I skilled at this? Do I have experience in this? Do I have a degree in this that I can talk about? Is this like a career field for me that I have knowledge in? Does this make money? Being another, and that one's obviously not going to be too important to you if you're just doing this as a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be an important thing to you. But these columns are examples of if you go across and you say, okay, gardening, do I like this? Yeah, I like gardening. I really enjoy gardening. Am I good at gardening? Me personally as Pumpkin, yes, I am. I'm very good at gardening. I'm experienced. I understand. Gardening is one of my favorite things to do. Can I make money at this? Can I make money at this? How do I make money doing streams about gardening? Do I sell seeds to people on Coffee? Like, can I open an Etsy shop? And this is not just, I'm going to bring in subs. We're talking, this is a legitimate point of income that I can make talking and streaming about this interest. So you go across with every single one of these. And if you check the boxes, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's a 4th one, but I don't off the top of my head remember because I did this back in October. But you just go down one at a time and checkbox the ones that make sense to you, are reasonable. Obviously, not all of them are going to fall into play. Yes, I like something, but I'm not good at it. And I don't have a lot to say about it. I don't have a career background in it. So even if I held a stream 5 days a week, am I going to have enough content to talk about this? Probably not. No. So this is not on the list. And you do that for every single one until you start narrowing down about 3 to 4 things, and don't go above 4. Like 3 to 4 things that are on this list that you can say, I enjoy this thing, I'm good at this thing, I can make money at this thing, and I'm not going to burn out at this thing. And for me, I looked at the VTuber space and I went, God damn, we have a lot of anime VTubers.
We do.
That was like my very first observation is like, are there other VTubers that exist? And don't get me wrong, absolutely nothing against anime VTubers, nothing. But from a marketing perspective, because I am business minded, I go, it's going to be a lot more difficult for me to get into the VTubing scene as the 520,000th anime model versus because I'm unique and different. You don't see this normally.
No.
So it stands out. So that's what worked for me. That's an example of a niche. I play live piano. Like I do live instruments every week. I don't see a lot of other VTubers doing that. That's not something I generally see. And if there is, I have not run into that other person yet. So these are all things that are not being done in the VTuber sphere that are unique and interesting content that people aren't saturated to, but is also comfortable enough because I'm inside the VTuber sphere that people are like, that's a cool VTuber. Look what they're doing different. That's neat. So that these are the types of things that you consider when you do niche content. You break it down to the familiarity that people know, being a VTuber, for example, but being unique and different outside of that sphere enough to make you stand out with content that not 7,000, 8,000 other people on Twitch are already doing, because they can get that content anywhere. You know, you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I think you make sense. I feel like it's funny that you say that too, because I feel like I got pretty lucky with mine. Because like, so this kind of ties back to a question that Ruby Dead Queen had asked, which was like I'm worried about people overshadowing me. And when I first came up with the idea with the cafe, and it started leaning more into like improv and sketch comedy and things like that, you can probably assume and guess who I was compared to very early.
Let me guess. Takahata.
There you
the
go.
101.
Yep. Yeah. All the time. Almost every single TikTok that I post has a comment about me being Discount Taka. There was one that called me Costco Taka, which I still love.
Oh my god.
I kind of die a little bit because I'm like, what does that mean? What does Costco Taka mean?
I am dead. Why?
I don't know. I just don't know.
See but that's kind of the thing about audience that you have to just weirdly get used to. There's there's nothing that you can do about it because people are people and you can't control it. I have a Betty Boop counter bot that's built in for the amount of times during a day that people come in, they're like, "Are you Betty Boop?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Check me. I'm on the back of every trucker's mud flap. Like, you know, so it's gotten to the point where now we just have a Betty Boop counter.
Oh my god. Because
officially any animation that's black and white that has a face like this is immediately just Betty Boop.
Yeah.
And in the same grain of salt, we have the same thing going on here, where anybody that does talk content in a cafe setting, a bar setting, it could be like somebody's living room and having like a barbecue party or something, and they're going to be like, "That's Taka."
Yep.
Because Taka was like kind of I don't want to say not trendsetter, but like the one that paved that road.
Yeah.
So now everybody looks at that and immediately associates that with that person. So it's just kind of how the brain works. We find similar people, similar designs, words, things like that, and people you just roll with the punches.
Yeah. It's just one of those funny things, because even if there is an oversaturation sometimes, like for my example, it was Taka, passion can still overcome that. And it shouldn't be a deterrent from doing. I mean, we talked about that before. Like, just do it, literally.
Just do the thing.
Yeah.
If you like the thing, if your audience is interested in the thing, use moderation and give them a little sprinkle of the thing throughout several weeks. That's it.
Exactly.
That's how you do it.
Perfect. All right, we've got a third question coming in here. How do you create a good schedule as a creator? I have a problem of sticking to a schedule. I want to have ways of physically reminding myself, oh, hey, stream today. How do you manage to keep enough time for yourself when you're a full-time content creator as well? Oh God, I don't have a good answer for this because I'm a bad example. I'm a very bad example.
I make calendars for corporations and myself and people, so
I also make calendars.
Calendars are your best friend.
Yeah.
You have to use calendars.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking Google Calendar. I'm not talking like digital calendars. I'm talking like go out, get yourself a physical calendar, because I'm in my studio space right now. I've got 2 calendars on this wall. I've got a calendar behind me. I have three cork boards and a black area on the wall for chalkboard notes. Because that's how much it requires for me to keep on top of things.
So it's funny for me because I do keep a digital one. I don't have a physical one. Mine's all digital.
Oh, I know. I believed in you.
But wait. So I hyper notate mine. I access it through my phone. Like if I come up with an idea, it's like, oh cool, and then I flip up because I always have my phone on me and I take notes. So like even though mine's digital, I always have it on me because it's on my phone, it's on my computer, and that's just how I keep track of it.
Definitely fair, but I am gonna throw at you that your brain will retain the information that you do if you handwrite it.
Oh, I mean, for other people, maybe. I was gonna say, I don't have a problem retaining it.
Okay, because under normal circumstances, like the statistics are pretty solid, so doesn't work for everybody, but for most people, it does.
That's why I said I'm not a good example. So like, so your big piece of advice is physically getting calendars, writing down your things, and then how do you stick to it? How do you do that?
So I do mine by month. Not everybody does it that way. Some people do it week by week. Some people do 2 weeks. I do mine at minimum 2 weeks, 3 weeks out. That's because when I have collabs like we're doing now, I like to be able to know, oh, I set this up on Tuesday at 9 p.m. with Roy at exactly this date. And that way all of that gets done at the beginning. So if I'm doing out my content for the week, or excuse me, for the month, what I end up doing is I take my blank slate calendar. I know what my days off are going to be. So like if I have a family, if I take care of all my personal stuff first. So if I have a family thing that day, if I'm doing this a certain day, those go in the calendar first. And then my schedule gets made around it. My schedule generally, you try to keep it the same. If you're doing this to try to get full-time reach partner, anything like this, you need to have a concurrent regular schedule and not just stream whenever you're available.
Yeah.
So if you can do a schedule like mine, for example, this will not work for everybody. I'm just using me as an example here. That I stream, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturday, and Sunday because that works for me. But for you, that may be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That may be any other day of the week. You have to schedule what you're doing that day.
Yep.
So on Tuesday, I'm doing a just chatting. On Thursday, I'm playing Cult of the Lamb. On Saturday, I'm doing this. And then on Sunday, I'm doing a piano stream. That week's done. Are there any collaborations that need my attention? Okay, I'm not doing any collaborations this week. What day of the week do I need to make sure these TikTok videos go out? So that means I need to Friday. So that means now I need to put on the calendar on Wednesday or Tuesday when I have free time to gather the clips that I need, start doing the editing to have those out by Friday. All of this goes on the calendar, every bit of it, not just your stream schedule, but the stuff that you're doing behind the scenes as well. I need to check in with this person about this partnership. I need to write an email to this person by this date. And when you set these things up at the beginning of the week or beginning of the month, they're down, so you don't have to worry about them.
Yep.
There's no panicking of, oh no, what am I going to do on stream today? I don't know what I'm going to do on stream today, because this has already been planned. And then once it's written, you stick to that.
Yeah.
And then you repeat it for the next month. That's basically it. But write down everything. Behind the scenes stuff, family stuff, your stream schedule, what games you're going to be playing on which dates. Literally everything has to go down on that type of structure.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with everything that you said. I do literally the same thing with mine. I work just a little bit differently, and again, like I said, this is definitely a lifting the veil type of thing. I guess technically I work a quote-unquote full-time content creation schedule because I post a TikTok a day, a YouTube video a week, sometimes 2, and then 3 VODs a week. Yep. But I also work a full-time job of 40 hours a week. So I'm echoing.
How do you deal? How do you deal with it? That's too much even for me.
Not well, as people are telling me now. Or at least helping me to understand, because the big thing, and you'll yell at me and then be like, thank God. Since May specifically, I have streamed 6 days a week, and then the 7th day was a community day where we would watch Super Sentai in my Discord while working a full-time job 5 days a week. So, and on top of all the other things that I do, this Friday is the first scheduled off day that I have. So I'm like intentionally being like, I am not doing anything this day.
Yeah. Like, why are you like this? Like you have to schedule free time. I know this sounds weird, but as a content creator, you have to schedule your free time. It's not just like, I wake up today and I don't feel like streaming. I'm just going to play Final Fantasy all day. You can't have that mentality.
Yeah.
Because if you have that mentality, you're not forming good repetitious habits that are healthy habits.
Yeah.
Because it's still a job. But at the same time, they're habits that you have to get into in order to be successful at it. Because otherwise you'll slack, you won't put out the content you need to put out. And that's problematic for your growth.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. For me, I'm definitely more like this because I thrive in fire, if that makes sense.
Some people do.
Yeah.
I've had other community managers that like work underneath me, and I'm the type of person that like when I ran my teams. This was Ubisoft was a great example of this. When I ran my teams, I would generally get things out for them like a month ahead of time because I like my teams to feel comfy. I don't believe in hustle culture and I don't believe in crunch.
Oh, yeah, that's terrible.
So I will, I suffered for that for years and I don't expect my teams to do the same thing. So I would give them as much information as I could, as early as I could, kept all the schedules for me. And I had like this one community manager that would just, just constantly. But when it was go time, 24 hours before a game launch, they were like, and they would just get everything done. And I'm like, you haven't focused for like the past month, and all of a sudden you did a month's worth of work in 24 hours, and but you just didn't sleep or eat. She's like, yeah. And I never had anything bad to say about her other than that. Like, she stressed me out. Hey, did you get this done? No, I'll get it though. You clock out in 3 hours, right? Yeah, I got it. Like, okay.
Yeah, I'm very weird in that sense. Like I almost have to make my scheduling like hectic because like it's like controlled chaos. Like I'm very much like you. I schedule things out. So like I have like the next couple weeks planned out for like content.
Yep, same.
I won't ever do what I did before with the Twitter thread, which was planned 2.5 months out because that's just too much.
Don't do that.
But
Good
I have
idea on the Twitter thread. Maybe not as hardcore of an execution.
Definitely might explore it in the future and just tweak the idea a little bit. But no, sure. now that I've had the what do we call it? Oversaturation. What was the phrase you used?
Content fatigue.
Content fatigue. Now that I've had the content fatigue of the cafe, I've also gone, oh shit, I've been working myself way too hard. And I've been remembering to thank Anonymous Gifter for gifting a sub to, well, I don't know that thing. I've never experienced that in my life. Anyway.
What the heck's that? Can I get that at Starbucks?
Oh my, yes you can. It's the new special. Only in for the fall.
After we get done with the content clinic, can we go get one at Starbucks?
Hell yeah, I'm with you, gamer.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's get it. So after I had the content fatigue, I then realized that I have been working hard and I've been working harder, not smarter. And I need to work smarter, not harder. And while
that's a very common thing in this community is they work harder, but they don't work necessarily. That's a horrible way to put it. That's not the right way to put it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. It just sucks because I started working smarter, not harder. Like when I first was getting into, like when I mentioned starting in January, all of my content started being like, okay, I make TikTok clips. Okay, I've got like small YouTube videos coming out. I've got engagement going on Twitter and on TikTok and on YouTube, and I'm active with my Twitch and I'm active with my Discord, and that's how I grew. If you look at like my growth arc, you see like it like starts short and then all of a sudden it kind of just in March. That is where it was like, I got in the algorithms on TikTok, I got in the algorithms on YouTube. People started recognizing my name more because I was commenting and showing up in communities more. Like, the consistency of that paid off. But because I saw and felt that growth, I was like, oh, I need to keep doing this. And then I hit partner and I was like, okay, now I need to go harder, stronger, faster, longer.
Better.
You know, I had that mindset of, I hit partner, there's a certain level of work that is expected of me. I need to be better. And unfortunately, that's why I'm like, and I love being transparent about this. I am a bad example of just work ethic in general. I'm a bad example of work ethic because I work too much. And when you work too much and you push yourself too much and you don't take break days, you not only burn yourself out, but your content sees it as well. And it's what happened to me. So.
Yep. Like when I started streaming, I was very transparent about the fact that I have a medical condition. It's an uncurable medical condition. There's nothing I can do about it. But I go through bouts of like intense intestinal pain, and I deal with this pain every day. And there's almost like a stigma of when you are a streamer, when you're a content creator, that you have to put on your best face and suck it up, buttercup, and feel perfect. You got to be ready to go. And while that is true, there is an extent of that which is true. I wanted to change that stigma. And so I started streaming, and people that are part of my community, I'm like, I'll be doing something, playing a game, and go, I need to put up the BRB screen. Sorry guys, I'll be right back in a second. People in my community know exactly what that means. And nobody has an issue with it. Because I've cultivated a community that's healthy, that is supportive of good mental health, good wellness, and they're very compassionate, and they understand. So anytime that there's a situation where, you know, my pain levels are just too high to stream, which does happen from time to time, I try to do my best with it, but it's nothing that I can control. I don't get a bunch of people just unfollow, she's not streaming, because people understand my situation, they understand my condition. And I feel like the more that we talk about issues that need to be more transparent, health, taking breaks when you need to, is perfectly fine and acceptable and healthy. Because one of the worst things that you can do is get into that mindset of, if I don't stream, I'm not gonna get this. If I don't stream, I'm not gonna whatever. If I don't stream, I'm gonna lose followers. In the 5 hours that you're not streaming for the day, and you taking a day off for your mental health, your physical wellness, to unwind, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine. Whoever needs to hear that, you're going to be fine. Take the day off. If you need to, if there's something wrong, prioritize yourself, your safety, and your mental health over streaming for a day. It is okay. You will make it.
Yeah, it's literally me. I needed to hear that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
My
Sometimes I
gracious.
even need to hear it, and I'm the one preaching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's that creator mindset.
Yeah.
You got to always be hustling, always be working, and you don't.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Now, I do see that we have one other question from, I believe it's August. Now, I'm going to propose this to you just before we take this question, and we can come back to it in one moment. We've been going for about an hour and a half. Do you want to take a quick like 5 minutes stand up stretch, like use the bathroom?
I am okay right now, unless you need one.
Yeah, I got to use the bathroom.
Let's see how you did this. Okay.
Well, yeah, listen, I didn't want to be the only one, but listen, I'll go. Unless you want to start tackling the question, and I'll come back and answer it when I get back.
You're brave enough to leave me alone.
You're a goddamn professional.
Okay,
all right.
Go ahead.
All right, chat. Be on your best behavior with Pumpkin. I'll be right back. Skadoosh.
Okay. So chat, what could possibly go wrong in this situation? Roy completely leaving an absolute gremlin in charge of the whole cafe to answer questions without supervision. I hope you guys are doing fine. Hope you're doing well. Hope things are really nice. You'll learn very quickly that I'm a big fan of starting hype trains on people. In fact, it's one of my favorite gremlin-y things to do. Come on, be sweet and be kind and be gentle and have a great time, and then as soon as they go use the bathroom, boom! Hype train. Heck yes, Scarth! Scarth kicking this off right. Yes, yes, make it happen! Make it happen! Rise! Get him! Unshaking maracas. Yes. I don't have any maracas, but I have them in spirit. Yes. So, real talk though. It makes me happy. Thank you for buying a heckin' cup of coffee. I appreciate that. Welcome to the heckin' cafe. I'm just an intern here. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. But if you want any milk or anything, I'm sure that we can probably find some. There's probably some in a jar somewhere. I don't know.
Thanks for buying somebody else a cup of coffee.
Heck yeah, Twoogie. Yes, yes. I don't actually know if the hype train is off cooldown, but we are doing it live. We are doing this live.
What are you doing live?
Nothing.
What are you doing live?
Nothing. We were just looking for the milk. Somebody wanted a cup of coffee, and they were just looking for the milk. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Why are there so many subs?
I don't know.
Did you solicit chat for subs?
Absolutely not. Why would you ever say that?
See, this is our next. What does say so have to do with money?
We're not supposed to talk about money. That's taboo, you know.
So clearly you're unsay so because we talked about money.
Yeah.
Clearly. Okay.
Yeah.
So, the next question that I noticed from August, August, I hope you're still in the chat, and thank you for covering for me while I used the barista's room. I noticed that some VTubers and content creators are on multiple social media platforms, and I think they're putting more strain on themselves. Do you have to be on multiple social media platforms? I got this in one word. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Like this is the most black and white answer that I can possibly give. Listen, it worked, okay?
Oh my God, Roy! I thought I was coming out here to talk about.
All right. This is the most grayscale answer. Most monochrome.
Black and white without asking. Like, what is this? What is this?
This is the most. This is probably going to be the easiest question we answer all night. Genuinely, yes, you have to be on multiple social media platforms to make it as a content creator. It is even when we just look at Twitch, like Heavenly Father said this himself, and I think we made a clip about it. There is no Twitch algorithm. You're not just gonna magically one day get found because you're putting in work and effort. It does not happen. Yeah. It does not work like that. However, there are other media platforms, not just social media, but media platforms that do promote growth. I firmly believe the only reason that I made partner was because of TikTok. Obviously I put in work other places. You know, I put in work on Twitch, I put in work on YouTube, I put in work on Twitter, but where I saw the most consistent growth and spillover was TikTok. I created clips from my streams like this. I had them cut down from my editor Blink and Sylvie, mostly Blink, but Sylvie tagging in on other things. And I had myself post those on other platforms. More times than not, at least once per stream, I'll have someone come in from TikTok and say, hey, I found you from TikTok. That is so important. I cannot stress this enough. It is so important to be on a platform that actually promotes growth and has some sort of algorithm that works for you. Say what you will about TikTok, because I see the TikTok crying. Yeah, I understand. TikTok sucks. It is a shitty platform. It is garbage. It is a necessary evil in today's market. Even if you don't want to be there, you cannot deny the positive effect that it has on Twitch growth or on content growth as a whole. If you're trying to grow, be on other platforms. Twitch will not do you any favors.
I'll add to Roy's statement as well and tell you that if you are planning on doing streaming, you know what the very first thing that they ask you on your partner application is? What other platforms are you on?
Yep.
Where can we find you?
Yep.
And they ask you this specifically because Twitch does not have a algorithm that is built for growth, and the Twitch staff themselves know this. So in today's competition for media, like Twitch versus YouTube, Twitch versus TikTok, Twitch versus Twitter, they know that your chances of growing are minimal on their platform. And if you apply for partner, they want to know that you are a profitable streamer because they take 50% of that cut. 50% of what I make every month goes into Daddy Twitch's back pocket. Work the streets and I pay him off. That's how this works. That's how it works.
It's true.
So, you know, I have to know, or excuse me, they have to know that I'm profitable for them, that giving me that little purple check mark next to my name means that I'm going to make them money in the long run, because they're not just going to give it to people just to be nice. Mm-hmm. They're going to give it to people that they know are going to put the work in. Not just put the work in, but put the work in correctly, using the right avenues. So when I put out something on Twitter or TikTok, people see that and they're like, wow, what a cool singer. She's a VTuber, neat. Where can I find her? And they go, oh, look, a Twitch link.
Yep.
Bonk. And then they come over here and then they start going, hey, I saw you on TikTok. Hey, I saw you on YouTube. Hey, I saw you on Twitter. That's where your growth comes from. You get more viewers and you grow a community of people because they're coming in from other platforms because they got exposed to you elsewhere.
Yep.
So Twitch utilizes the use of other platforms to guarantee that the person that they're giving a check mark to can prove that they have an audience that is continually growing and getting larger. Because if you don't grow, they're not seeing any return for that.
Yep.
Here's your check mark, but you're only gonna make me $200. As opposed to if you have this, and this, and they're growing in the green on all of those platforms.
Yep.
They're gonna go, this person is projected to be 300 next month, and then 500 the month after that. They're gonna see that growth, and they're more likely to give you a check mark based upon your usage of those platforms and your popularity in other places.
Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm. I think that's actually, maybe not the entire reason, but I think that's a big reason as to why they just alleviated the streaming restrictions as well. Because they want people to make content on other platforms, because Twitch is probably very, very painfully aware of how difficult it is to grow on Twitch.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. But a lot of people misconstrued that, though. There were a lot of people that got the partnership thing, and they were like, oh, I can stream on YouTube and Twitch at the same time. No, you can't.
Oh, that is still a breach.
Do that.
Yep.
Yeah, like you don't necessarily have all the restrictions that we have if you're still working towards partnership, but partners have a very particular contract, and if we breach that contract, they ban us, they shut us down, or they take away our check mark.
Yep.
So one of the major things is we could never stream on other platforms. So Twitch has to be the all-inclusive exclusive. We are signed to Twitch. We only perform on Twitch.
Yeah.
But now they've made it so that we can stream on YouTube, but we can't simulcast.
Yep.
So if I want to stream 5 hours on YouTube in the morning and then I want to do from 5 hours at night on Twitch, I can do that without breaching my contract.
Yep.
But does that mean you can simulcast them at the same time? It does not. That's still a breach. People misunderstood that.
Yeah. Funny enough, though, you can simulcast on Instagram and TikTok.
Who the hell is out here doing a 6-hour stream on TikTok?
I don't know. There are some people, and apparently it's seen crazy amounts of TikTok growth because of it. But
for 6 hours on a TikTok playing Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah, it's...
Maybe not.
I don't know. Hi, Kami. Welcome
Hey,
in.
Tommy. It's good to see you.
Two of the coolest people. Damn. Now this kind of ties into the next thing because specifically we were talking about other platforms. I did see someone mention, do you find TikTok having allowed more growth than using YouTube? This is a complicated answer. The answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
But it's an asterisk yes, I think. Finger quotes. Yes, point blank, TikTok is easier to grow on than YouTube. However, the benefits from growing on TikTok are not the same as the benefits from growing on YouTube. Generally, how I look at it, TikTok is it's a platform that helps you grow in terms of notoriety and what's the phrase? There's exposure. There we go. TikTok is an exposure platform. You get your name out there, you get your clips out there, you get their content out there much more quickly. However, you're not seeing money. TikTok is a monetary investment on your end. It is a monetary and time investment, and how much you put in is usually how much you'll get back. So a lot of the clips that I put in, monetarily and time-wise, I then saw that return in Twitch's exposure. And it is actually a fantastic conversion rate. And that's why I talk up TikTok so much, even though I dislike the platform. However,
negative to say about TikTok.
What'd you say?
Like TikTok. I said I don't even have anything negative to say about TikTok. I just like TikTok.
Shadow banning is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. I hate shadow banning so much, and I wish it would just be upfront with, hey, you did something we didn't like. We're putting a limit on your content for a couple days. I just wish they would be upfront about it. I hate when they don't.
Fair enough.
But the thing that's different about YouTube is YouTube does have large monetary outlets. It is harder to grow on because it's not like YouTube was a couple years ago. It's not like YouTube was 5 years ago, and it's not like YouTube was 10 years ago. In some ways it's easier, in some ways it's harder. But for VTubing especially, you need to be making good content, and clips sometimes help. But like in my example, clips don't usually get you to YouTube partner, which means you're not making money. And even if you do, clips don't usually get like tons and tons of ad revenue in them.
For buying a cup of coffee.
So you're not. EXO, thank you for buying a cup of coffee. That's where you get your ad revenue, from a cup of coffee. YouTube will make you money in the long run. And you can use that money to invest in more things like editors or new equipment, or just reinvest back into your content. TikTok, however, is a dump in the sense of you put money, time in, and you get exposure out. It is a fair trade, in my opinion, just like it's a fair trade that an anonymous gifter bought a cup of coffee for a commie. Thank you so much. But it's different. Both YouTube and TikTok are different. Has TikTok allowed more growth than YouTube? Yes. But is growing on YouTube still important? Hell yes, it is.
I'm gonna take a different approach on that.
Go for it. Hit me.
I was a YouTuber before I was a Twitch person. And the algorithm from YouTube is so very, very vastly different than it was 10 years ago. I come from YouTube sphere before the recommended feed algorithm. I was a YouTuber during that era, and so
I am aware of some of your content from that era.
Yes, you are. And subscribers back then were everything.
Yeah.
Subscriptions were everything because that's how you grew your content. Subscriptions on YouTube now mean nothing. They have no meaning. But it's that these two platforms, even though that they are in competition with each other for viewership, right? They're in competition with each other for more people watching on their platform. They are two fundamentally different platforms with completely different purposes.
Yep.
YouTube is great for long form content. We're talking 10 to 15 minute videos. We're talking 2-minute video tutorials. We're talking like long form content. If you put clips up on YouTube, probably not going to be super successful because it's more of like what TikTok is good at. TikTok is a platform that's built upon what I like to call flashbang content.
Yep.
It is 7 second scroll, 7 second scroll, 7 second scroll.
The Vine boom.
Exactly. That's the type of platform that it is. We call that it's called snackable content. Is what the terminology is called. It's small morsels, tidbits of interesting things that you can shove down and just keep going.
Yeah.
And never feel full. Whereas if you go to YouTube, you're going to watch one long video, you're going to throw it on in the background, or you're going to be actively watching it for 10 to 15 minutes. Because how the algorithm works over there between these two platforms is completely different.
Yes.
And Roy is absolutely correct when he says that the
Hey, Min! Hi! Thanks for buying a cup of coffee for Min. Appreciate it.
You know, it's a completely different level of content. If you are looking for flashbang content, go to the right platform. If you're doing clips, VTuber clips, funny little instances from stream, TikTok is going to be your best asset because you're going to bring over your viewership over to here, just like what happened with Roy, what's happened with me, what's happened with other people.
Yep.
But I've stepped away from YouTube quite a bit in recent years because I've made that active change from YouTuber doing YouTube content to being a live streamer. And I'm finding that short form content, such as TikTok, such as clips, such as funny little moments, and the live streams themselves, provide enough content. And I haven't really done much with my YouTube because I don't have any long form content that properly fits that channel. And the way that the YouTube algorithm works, if you have TikTok, you can upload whatever the hell you want. Oh, this funny thing happened. I got stung by a bee. This guy ate an entire watermelon and what, like, it doesn't matter. You can put up anything on your channel and it doesn't matter. But on YouTube, you can't do that.
Yes.
If you make a channel and you're like, here's a VTuber clip, here's a thing I like about this, here's me playing a video game, here's me doing a let's play of a horror game, here's me doing a review of Mario Odyssey. The algorithm, the AI that's built into YouTube, every time it goes into a channel, it looks at all those videos. It scans them for basically hashtags, right?
Yeah.
Like this is a gardening thing. This is a video game thing. If you have too many random videos just willy-nilly all over the channel, the algorithm goes, I don't know what to categorize this channel to.
Yep.
This has got so much weird junk on it that I don't know what to categorize this as, and as a result, it's not going to recommend it to the right people because it can't get a grasp on what you're into, what this is about. So TikTok does that very well. You can put up anything, but YouTube, you have to choose like one or two niche things about that channel and stick only with that content in order to. So they're both different beasts for different reasons, but if you're doing short-term stuff, stick with TikTok. If you want to do long videos, reviews, long VODs, put it on YouTube.
Yeah. I will say, just to tag on the end of that, I've also been using YouTube Shorts as opposed to just posting like clips. YouTube Shorts works different.
Shorts.
Yeah, they work.
Shorts. Yeah.
They do not negatively impact your algorithm for your channel because Shorts function completely differently. Yeah.
If I put up something on TikTok, I'll put it up on YouTube Shorts, and I don't have to re-edit the same content because it's like yes.
So
working smarter, not harder. That's what we're talking about.
So I saw somebody actually mention it in chat, and I wanted to bring it up earlier, but I needed a good segue. So one of the smartest things you can do is multi-purposing content in content creation. So let's look at this, for example. This stream, the content clinic, the first thing I did with Heavenly, because I wanted to take some people that I knew I wanted to spend time with, but maybe I didn't know that well, but I knew that they have a grasp on content creation. So instead of being like, hey, let's do a cafe session without knowing if they can do improv, without knowing if we click, without knowing anything of that, instead I was like, let's just talk about content and our journeys and things like that. I can then take this likely 3-4 hour stream, however long it's going to be, I can make clips out of it. I can also edit down this stream and turn it into a 15-20 minute video for YouTube. I can take those clips and put them on TikTok. I can put them on YouTube Shorts. I can put them on Instagram as Reels. I can look at this news site that's been popping up recently that somebody mentioned in chat, Billy, for the Chinese audience, because apparently they love VTubers. So reusing content can be one of the smartest things you can do. I don't remember what the original question was now.
But yeah, I mean, that aside, the original content was talking about growing on other platforms.
That's right.
But But yeah, all of these things are complete, absolute, raw truth. If you want to make it in content creation, you have to be on other platforms. My advice, however, like my professional level advice, stick with 3 to 4.
Yeah.
4 absolute tops. We don't need to be on 4.
Serving today's special. Oh, and speaking of tops, we've got a raid from Prism Splay. What is going on, Raiders? My name is royzoga. Roll that R as always. Welcome to the Cup of Dusk. It's a cafe where I bring in various YouTubers around the internet. We do a little improv sketch comedy combined with roleplay. But more importantly, tonight I'm putting on a content clinic for all your deepest VTubing and content creation desires. Headed by none other than the legendary icon herself, PumpkinPotion.
Hi, pals. You know what? You flatter me every time we get a raid. Jeez.
Listen, I want to make sure that they know that you are a big part of this content clinic, and especially that they can find you by typing !collab in chat. You'll be able to get a link to all of Pumpkin's platforms, specifically her Twitter and Twitch page, because otherwise it's too many. But regardless, check her out. She does amazing content. And we've got another raid. Listen, It just happens. They come in twos. They're coming in twos tonight.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh,
roll that R.
All right, here we go.
What
is going on, Raiders? My name is royzoga. Roll that R as always. Welcome to the Cup of Dusk. It is a... It's... Fuck! Okay, hold on. It is a cafe where I bring in various YouTubers around the internet. We do a little improv sketch comedy combined with roleplay, but more importantly tonight we're doing a content clinic headed by the legendary icon herself. It's PumpkinPotion!
Hello, pals. How you doing?
Listen, I had to do it twice in a row, okay? I ain't got no deep breaths. This isn't Persona 3. Or 4.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. You have that level of energy. When people come into my stream, I sing. I give them a song. And then it's like, okay, we're doing back to what we're doing. That was great. Have a great day. Okay, let's just do the thing. And you're just over here like you're rolling off an auction ticket.
Oh, yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. It's
wild. I love it.
That's how I can work on my diction and or dictation.
Hi, Prism.
Oh, and we got Prism. I hope you had an amazing stream. Rye, I hope you had an amazing stream. Diction. Listen.
Diction.
I meant to say dictation, but I got Prism on the mind. I got Rye on the mind. I don't know what to tell you. Listen, it's a dangerous combination to say the least. But
he's doing his best.
Regardless, guys, real talk, we are doing a content clinic tonight. If you guys are interested in learning anything about content creation or VTubing specifically, please feel free to use the highlight message redeem. It's only 300 channel points, so if you smack that follow button, you do have enough channel points to ask content creation related questions. Feel free to use it, and we'll do our best to help you. We've already been answering a ton tonight. We've been going for about 2 hours so far. Hello there, do I want a new car? Oh, you just want a new car! I love those jazz hands. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. I have something. I have something for us to transition to while we wait for people to realize that they can spend channel points. Rye, thank you again for the raid. Prism, thank you again for the raid. Go lurk. Go get some good lurking.
What do you got for me?
Okay. What is the number? All right. Let's frame the question. Let's frame it. I actually just made a square with my hands because I'm weird. I literally just did that.
I got you. Let's frame the question.
So, we've talked a lot tonight about things you see VTubers do, or like big tips that you give to VTubers or people that are trying to get into content creation. What is the number one mistake that you see VTubers making on the regular, or ones that are just getting into VTubing? Number one mistake.
In terms of streaming, or just in terms of content creation in general?
Let's say content creation, because streaming is part of content creation.
Because I'll tell you, and I'll be very, very straight about it.
That's very difficult for me, but go ahead.
Yeah, a little bit me. Okay. But here. We're gonna be as straight as we possibly can about it. Maybe a little wiggly on the sides.
Maybe a little
anyway,
wiggly.
Maybe a little wiggly on the sides. Okay. The biggest mistake, and I'm going to preface this because we had a couple raids come in, so I hope you don't mind that I preface this preemptively.
Hit me with you.
Like this is something that you already know, but for the people that are coming in, My background is 10 years in the AAA video game industry as a senior level community manager and social media manager. I've worked with EA Games, I've worked with Ubisoft, I have worked with Games Japan, I have worked with Krypton Future Media, I have worked on many of the games that you guys are familiar with, that you have played, and I have built those communities from the ground up. I have run community tournaments for people, I have gone to conventions, been the face of the companies to the players, etc., working with all sorts of different influencers, and one of the greatest mistakes... Yes, I worked with Games. I worked on Shadowverse specifically.
Hey!
I was the community manager for Shadowverse. Their English side, as a matter of fact. I headed their English department. So one of the biggest and probably the most detrimental mistakes that I see in the community of content creation, and most importantly in VTubing, I will tell you, that is bringing drama to your brand.
Hey, I like this take. Please go off, Queen.
That is bringing drama to your brand. I will tell you right now that one of the major and most important thing, I don't know if you guys know False ID. False is a really good friend.
I love False.
False is a good friend, and one of the greatest things that he ever said to me was, Pumpkin, your Twitter feed is so clean. In other words, False can't find shit on my feed to talk about. Because I don't do problematic things on my feed. I treat my VTubing career as a business. And because of that, my IP, my brand, and everything associated with it have a brand behavior in marketing.
Mm.
This means that if I see a tweet that I disagree with, I leave it the fuck alone. This is if I see somebody doing a hot take, I go, that is indeed a hot take, and I leave it the fuck alone. I don't get involved. I certainly don't take stuff and go, here's the receipts of this person doing a thing that I'm upset with, rather than deal with that aside. You know what I mean? These are all very amateur mistakes that I see. And I understand that a lot of the people in the VTuber sphere are very young. I'm going to be real with you. I'm in my 30s. I'm in my mid-30s. I've been doing this for many years with the background that I have, the training in the career field that I have. And that is hands down the biggest mistake that I see, is understanding the line of when to engage in a community conversation versus when to look at that and go, I do not need to engage with this. And because we have a lot of young people that don't necessarily have that experience, that perspective, they'll see something hot button and they'll go, I've got plenty to say about that.
Yep.
And that's not your best move, because that's going to get you into trouble. And I'm going to tell you why. Because from somebody that has worked on both sides of the curtain, now am an influencer, but before was the person that reached out to influencers. I was the person that represented EA and Ubisoft and said, hey, Roy, you're a cool streamer. I like your digs, pal. You wanna come and do a partnership on this game with us?
Hell yeah.
Provide you with everything? That was what I did for a living, in part. That was part of what was in my job description. And if I saw a cool streamer like Roy, and I said, hey, this person's really cool, I'm gonna go to their stream. I'm not gonna make myself known. I'm gonna sit in the background. I'm gonna lurk. Because I wanna watch what their behavior is without them knowing that I'm there. And I'm gonna do this 3 or 4 times until I feel comfortable that Roy's the type of personality I think that this dev team would really vibe with. I'm gonna reach out to this person. Before I do that, I will go to their Twitter feed. I will go to their TikTok. And I will go to all of their other platforms. And I will look at the stuff that you've been talking about, the stuff that you've been interacting with, and how you are addressing other people. Whether that's respectfully, whether that's disrespectfully. I want to know the type of content that you are involved in. And if I go, hey, I want to pay the streamer. We have a budget of $1,200 that we're going to give to a streamer that works really well with us. And I go, hey, Roy's perfect. I think he's great on stream. If I go to his Twitter and I see him talking a bunch of shit, if I see him being disrespectful to other creators or just stirring the pot for no reason, I'm not going to send that email.
It's true.
That email will not be sent. So by engaging in negative behavior, by engaging or further pushing drama, problems, just getting involved with things that are not necessarily good for you or your brand or what you are doing, you are potentially losing a huge opportunity that you don't even know is there.
Yep.
Because we don't make it aware. We don't make you aware of that opportunity until we are ready to go to you for it. And this is what I'm talking about. So you want to keep your eyes on your own paper.
Oh.
And don't be worried about what else is going on around. Because if I come to you and I say, this is a great streamer, we want to partner with them, we want to give them a grant for this, and we see that your ducks are in a row, that you're working on your content, that you're paying attention to your own edits, that you're working on your own stuff, it's going to show us that you have the motivation and the mentality, what I'm looking for, and I will send you that email. So that's a little bit of a behind the scenes insight that I can give you guys, is to always be on your best, I guess, I don't want to say behavior, but always be in a situation where you could be somebody's first impression.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Like, so honestly, the best advice I can give is just keep your eyes on your own paper. And as far as Twitter is concerned, I don't know if you know this, Roy, but I'll throw it out there just as an added so that people know. Twitter specifically has an algorithm. With its trending and recommended tweets. And I know how that algorithm works. It does not matter. Let's say, for example, you see a tweet that's just kind of... It's the hot take of the VTuber week. Somebody's upset about something. Somebody woke up and had a hangnail and needs to tell everybody about it. If you click on that tweet, if you touch that tweet on your phone to bring it into its own thing so that you can read it and the comments, you don't have to comment on it. You don't have to like it. You don't have to retweet. You don't have to quote tweet. But because you so much as clicked on it to read it, that tells Twitter, this is something that people want to read, and they're going to take that and they're going to push it further up the algorithm for other people to see.
Yep.
So every time that you click on something that's drama, something unnecessary, something that is negative, you are effectively helping Twitter sweep that negativity into other people's feeds, even if you don't physically like it or retweet it.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is you clicked on it. That's all it takes. So your best method of dealing with that is to physically not engage with it at all.
Yeah.
Scroll by it like it's not there.
Yep. Yeah.
That's my advice. Yep.
I think I firmly agree with all of that. I think it's an interesting one because it's not one that I hear very often. And it is a huge problem, I think, in the VTubing community. Everything that you were saying, that there's a lot of negativity on Twitter. There's a lot of people airing dirty laundry. There's a lot of I think just in general, not even just on Twitter, just in general, people forget that, like, we're still people, and there's gonna be things that are worth sharing. There's gonna be things that are not worth sharing. There's gonna be things that should have been handled in private, but especially, like, honestly, I think you just said it best. I'm trying to, like, I'm about to, like, repeat everything you said.
No, I understand. But, you know, again, my perspective just comes from this working so deeply in this career field. And these are the types of things that we would deal with every day.
Yeah.
Of me looking at, like, a really cool streamer, a content creator, thinking they're really great, wanting to work with them and talking about the dev team. Like, hey, should we pull them into the Discord to talk about this? And then finding out that, you know, they started a fire, or this person is potentially responsible for swatting somebody. And it's just like and, you know, your potential business partners or people reaching out to you are not going to want to get their brand involved in your personal snafu.
Yeah.
Like, you are missing opportunities because you are trash talking, because you are sticking your nose where it doesn't belong,
Yep.
or you are or doing that, like one I see all the time, which is like, here's a screenshot of a thing happening and I'm the good guy because I'm telling all of you how bad this person is so that
Yep.
you can avoid them. That's not the professional way to handle those types of situations. And we're going to look at that, see that, and go, nah, this isn't the person to work with.
Yep. It's true. It's true.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. 120%.
I would 100% agree with you. I think that is a huge mistake that a lot of newer VTubers make the mistake of. Is especially getting involved in drama like that too.
It's troublesome. It affects your growth. It affects how people interact with you.
Yeah.
If I go on Twitter and I'm like, hey, Roy wants to do a collab. That's really cool. I'd love to do a collab with Roy. And then I get on his Twitter and then find out that he's just starting things with other people. Do you think that I would want to collab with somebody like that? No. You know, because that affects me. If I collab with somebody that has a bad social reputation because of how they've behaved or how they have treated other people, I and my metrics and my growth do not want that association because your behavior affects me.
Yep.
So, you know, if you have big dreams of collabing with, you know, people like Mouse or something someday, these are things to keep in mind, that social reputation and behavior is a huge factor in whether or not people want to work with you, collaborate with you, or even hang around you so much.
Yeah, no, 100%. I 100% agree with that. I think that's such an interesting take on the whole, like, what is the number one mistake for VTubers in content
It's not
creation.
one that people bring up.
No, it really isn't. That's why I'm so, like, that's a really good one, genuinely. And it's funny because I think it ties back into the joke that we made earlier about VTweeters. Or what was it? Shit or what?
Shitter get off the pot.
Shitter get off the pot of those types of people. Because, like, I feel like there are a lot of people that instead of focusing on their content, will instead focus on drama and interacting and those types of situations. Because, like, they are those people. They are the people that are only really interacting with things on Twitter or on social media or things like that, instead of worrying, like you were saying, instead of keeping their eyes on their own paper and staying in their own lane.
Yeah, like basically all of the time that you spent writing out tweets, getting deeply involved in so-and-so said this, Buff Pup did this, blah, 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 Shy Lily did this, blah, blah, this person got banned this week, and then, like, all of that time that you have dedicated into sticking your nose into other things, you could have spent that time working on your content.
Yep.
And you lost that opportunity to do that. So, you know, just be aware that the time that you take to do these things may not be beneficial to you, your growth. You know, and if you want to make streaming and content creation a full-time gig, it comes with experience to understand this is safe for me to engage in, or this is inappropriate for me to engage in.
Yep.
And those are just one of those things that you have to learn from experience and time.
All right. So let's move on from that. I saw we got a couple smaller questions from chat earlier.
Let's go.
We've got this is one that you and I kind of already talked about a little bit, because we talked about going full-time with content creation. So I feel like we can just touch on this. How long should one's safety net cover before making the jump to full-time?
Me, comfortably, I would say 6 months.
I agree. I think 6 months is a good safety net. It's also a good mark of time, because, like, 1 month is not enough time for things to happen.
No.
6 months, that's a good amount of time.
That's half a year. If you can sustain, if you have enough money that you can hang on to for 6 months and not have an income and be like, okay, now it's time to find a job, you know, you're in a good position.
Yep. Yeah, like, I mentioned it before, I didn't even let myself get to 6 months, but that's about how much I had saved up.
Yeah, I mean, me, I had 4, but I was also under different conditions.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, I was under very different conditions.
Yeah. So yeah, 6 months. Save up 6 months, but I think it also depends on the person too and exactly what it is you're doing. VTubing, if you're just getting into content creation, it's rough. Like, not everybody's gonna be like you know, Pumpkin, they're not gonna make partner in 4 months, but you could make partner in 2 months. You could make partner in 2 years, or you could be like me and take 5 years to hit partner.
Yep. That's something that people forget is everybody's journey is completely different.
Yep.
I cannot compare my journey into VTubing to Roy, and Roy cannot compare his to mine. So it's a completely different journey with a completely different set of like directions that we are doing things, and that's why when people are like, "Oh, this person's better than me," or "This person's doing more content than me," that's why you don't compare people. That's why.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to end up with anything positive.
Agreed. Yeah. Okay. Moving on with simple questions. Do you enjoy streaming on Twitch?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I love streaming. And it was going to be a thing for me where I was like, I'm going to try it and see how it works out and see if people like it and see if I like it. And after the first month, I sat down and was like, yeah, we staying, boys. We're here. We're staying. Like, and I've been here ever since. 8 months and counting, full time. Yep. I never looked back.
I like Min's reaction. No, I hate it. Sorry, Twitch.
No, I hate it. This place sucks.
Yeah, no, I love streaming on Twitch as well. Like I said, I started streaming back in August of 2017. So like I've been here for a while. I will say I love Twitch. There are always going to be things that I wish they would address, fix, change. But at the end of the day, it's still the platform that I love, and it's still the platform that I want to see succeed. And it's why I care so much, because I want it to succeed.
I love being part of this community, and I'll tell you right now that before joining Twitch, I was mentally not in a good place. I was stressed. I was depressed. I had a number of things going on from that were residual mental traumas from working in the video game industry and crunch and hustle culture, being on demand, and you're only allowed to get 2 hours of sleep a night because we have a game coming out tomorrow. And like, you know, I gave all of that up to come over here, and I now have surrounded myself with friends that I deeply care about, that are also streamers, that we understand what goes on behind the curtains and our stresses and our difficulties with what we do, and can talk to each other and communicate and just generally be supportive and kind. And I have never in my life, on any platform that I've been on, this is including TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, anything, the Twitch community has been the most just considerate, kind, warm community of friends and people that I have ever met, to the point where it has changed me into a better person for being here and being part of it. And I try to extend that same experience to somebody else that may be starting streaming for the first time, to feel as welcome and as accepted as I did.
I think that was really well put. I hope that answers the question of do we enjoy streaming on Twitch, because it sounds like that was a very tiny violin moment. Oh, gosh. All right, let's keep it going. We definitely answered this already, so we can keep this one brief. If it comes up, how do you conquer your fear / self-doubt with going live or making content in general? Just do it. I know yeah, I know that's kind of like a shitty answer, and it might not be what you're looking for, but genuinely, like,
that is the answer.
It just is.
You get nervous, you go, oh, you walk around the room for a bit, you take a breath, you sit down, and you press the button.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what you do.
100%.
Yeah, because if you don't get through those jitters and you don't learn how to move past that nervousness, you never will, and you'll never hit the button. So you have to physically do the thing in order to get the experience of doing the thing.
Yeah.
And it gets easier as you go.
Yeah, 100%. I can say after 5 years of doing this, hitting go live is usually freeing and not stressful. It is the opposite of stressful.
Yeah, like when I first started, I was doing that exact same thing. I was just like, deep breathing. It was like I was pregnant and going into labor. It was just like, You know, but now I'm at the point now where it's like, oh, I just hit start. Okay, cool, we're
Yep.
live. I'm just gonna go get a drink now. I'm gonna go pee. I'm gonna come back. You know,
There you go.
I don't think about it. So yeah, it'll become easier, but honestly, just do the thing.
Yeah, exactly. We also kind of touched on this one already too. So easy one. To call back on an earlier subject about schedules, how does one make a schedule when they live with people who force their schedule on you?
Communication with the people that live in that house.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's less of a content issue and more of a like personal issue that you would need to work out with those people that live with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Talk to them.
Yeah, communication is always like, it's always gonna help. Like, good communication can resolve a lot of issues. And whoever you're living with, whatever your living conditions are, if there are people sleeping, if there are people that don't want you streaming at certain times, whatever it is, talk it out with them. Find out when is acceptable to stream, when is not acceptable to stream, and make your schedule around there. Because schedules, once you start going, generally shouldn't be moved too much. If you haven't started yet and you're still in the process of making content, you don't really have to worry about making a schedule. Just make it and start.
Yeah, if you're doing it as a hobby thing, you're allowed to guerrilla stream.
Yeah. So
you're just allowed to do that. But if you're doing like if I want to do this full time as my job and that is the goal eventually, and please don't let that be like the goal. Please don't let I'm going to be a streamer and make a bunch of money and that is the end goal be the reason you do content creation, because that's not the right reason. But, you know, if it is that kind of a situation that you want to make this your full-time job, just talk to the people that are involved. And if it's a noise issue, there are things that you can put on the walls that help with that. You know, I've got them. They're generally affordable that help. Just be honest. Just talk.
So I'm gonna I see Min pointed it out.
You good, by the way? You're looking a little purple, bud.
So do you want to know the reason why I got into streaming?
Okay, wait a minute. Let me get a drink on this one. Okay, hold on. Okay. Here we go. Drink. Okay, I'm ready. Let's
so
go.
Back in 2017, this was a younger, stupider Roy. I saw other people doing it and playing games. And I was like, I could do that. I'll make money playing video games. And that's how it started. It started that way. It is not currently that way. It just started that way.
It can't be that way.
Yeah.
A lot of people have this thing where they're like, I'm gonna be a streamer and I'm gonna get on Twitch and I'm gonna get paid to play Fortnite. And it's like, that's a great dream for a 6-year-old mentality. Like, that's not how reality works.
2017 was a different time. It was pre-COVID.
Like, pre-COVID was like the magical land of like, we don't remember what it was like, but we all talk about it.
I know. It was like a far-off dream. It's like a far-off nightmare.
Like, yeah, I don't say like that's a 6-year-old mentality as in to be insulting or negative. Please don't take it that way.
Yeah.
I say it as in like that's usually the type of dream that like somebody that's very young has of like, I'm gonna play Fortnite and get paid.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, Fortnite, we bound to get down. Get down. 10 cows in the bud. Anyway.
I was grooving. You killed the groove. You threw off the
It's
groove,
a copywritten song. I'll get DMCA'd.
No, you won't.
I'll be too similar.
Because it counts. It counts as a live performance.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, that's an acapella performance. You're good. You're solid, boy. You're good.
Fair enough. We'll bring it up later then.
But yeah, go ahead. What else we got?
So I saw this one from Lion, and I see he's still here. I don't see this one talked about a lot. What could one do to talk about collabs with others? From small to mid to larger to big streamers, how would you go about that? This is for those who are more on the shy side.
Good question.
Do you want me to tackle that?
Yeah, go ahead, Roy.
Okay.
I have some thoughts of my own, but I'd like to hear what your perspective is.
Being as someone that does this very regularly because of guests on the cafe, I find it best practice to try and spend time with the person before asking them to collab. And I heard you and Cab actually say this during your guys' content stream, and I resonated a lot with it.
We did.
It is really, really awkward and really, really disingenuous if you just slide into someone's DMs without really knowing them and just say like, hey, you want to collab on this game? Or hey, like that's not even great anyway. But like, if you don't even have an idea, if you've never spoken before, you can't do it like that. However, on the inverse, if you are just barely starting to speak with someone, maybe you like their content, maybe they've reacted to you a couple times, they've got their DMs open, and if you've interacted before, maybe your Twitter mutuals, something like that, then it's okay to be like, hey, I'd love to get to know you more, hang out sometime. Don't put the emphasis on being like, hey, I want to make content with you. Because as soon as you do, it starts to feel disingenuous. It starts to feel like all you care about is making content with that person. It is very important that you try and establish a connection with the person, even to make sure that you will make good content. Because not everybody can make good content together. Some people's personalities just don't match up. It will happen. Yes. It will happen.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I'm so glad that you mentioned that. People don't.
It's why it's so important to check with people, and why I now have a little bit of a quote unquote vetting process for the cafe before I bring people in. Either I lurk in their streams for a while, I check their content, I talk with them. Like you and I have known each other for what, like 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, and we've been in each other's streams.
Yeah.
So we know each other's communities, we know each other, like generally, like the vibe of each of our communities and demographics, like we know each other in that regard. It wasn't just like a Roy coming up to me and being like, Pumpkin, you're a complete stranger I've never met before at all, but I'm rolling into the privacy of your DMs very intrusively to ask you if you'd like to be on a stream that you know nothing about. Like, that's weird, bro. That's weird, champ. Don't do that.
Yeah, like, what do you mean you don't want to? But no, like, it took Pumpkin and I this long. Mainly because it took me this long to come up with a good idea that I thought would work really well with us together. But regardless, making connections with people is more important than making content at first. You need to be able to set something up with that person, that there's a connection between you, and to make sure that you can actually vibe well together. Because if you don't, and you make bad content, it looks bad for both of you. And then more people will be less likely to want to work with you because you had that one bad experience.
And you look awkward on somebody's stream, so they're going to just assume that you're awkward rather than the relationship between you and that particular streamer is awkward.
Yep. And yeah, networking offline is almost as, I would say sometimes more important than networking on stream.
It's part of the job.
Yep.
It's a requirement of the job.
Yep.
Socializing and communicating with people is part of the job. And that also means that you're going to be talking to people you've never met. That means that you're going to be writing emails to people on a business sense that you've had no contact with before.
Yep.
It means that you're going to be answering people when they reach out for charity streams. This is just, it comes with the territory. That's just something that you have to do. But the worst thing that you can do is roll into DMs.
Yeah.
And I tell every new content creator this. The best thing that you can do when you start to see growth, and the safest thing that you can do, is shut down your DMs. Nobody can reach me on Twitter Discord unless I friend them first.
Yep.
Because I would wake up every day to 50 people just randomly going into my feeds and being like, "Hi, hi."
I hate it.
Hi, and I'm just like, I with due respect, don't. It can make us very uncomfortable. So what Roy said, go into people, like, if you want to get to know somebody and be part of their, sphere, be part of their community. But don't go into the community with the expectation and end goal of a specific mission.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't go in there with the expectation of, I'm only going into this community because I want something out of it. Go in and genuinely engage with other people.
Yeah.
Go into their chat, talk, like drop in, raid them. Just get to know them on that level so that it's at the point where, like it is with us, where Roy comes in the chat. I'm like, hey, it's Roy, what's up? Like, I know who he is. He knows who I am.
It's Pumpkin!
Yeah, like it's the exact same thing. That's how you genuinely get to know someone. It's like it's related right in with, how do I make VTuber friends? You don't walk up to somebody as an adult and go, "Hi, want to be friends? I want to be friends with you."
It's so true.
It's so awkward and so socially inorganic. It's not normal. People don't make friends. This isn't kindergarten. We don't do that anymore. You have to get to know that person organically, naturally, over time. And otherwise it's weird, champ. It makes us feel uncomfortable. We're gonna kind of back out of the situation. Like a good example, when I had people that wanted to collab with me, they became part of my community first. They got to know my content and what I was about, and then sent me a message on Twitter and was like, "Hey, this is so and so," and most of the time I remember them. Because I remember their name, I remember seeing them in the channel, and I'm like, "Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I was gonna ask you if, about like a collaboration question about content. Sure, here's my DM information."
Yeah.
So that's how you approach it, but never approach people just going into their DMs or adding them on Twitter, or just don't do that.
Yeah.
It oversteps personal boundaries.
Yeah, 100%. Also, hi Aki, and welcome back, Rye. 100% agree with you. And I think this is something that I'm still working on as well. Don't take it personally if people don't want to collaborate with you.
Yes. Yes.
I have had my fair share of situations where either our content doesn't line up, the person isn't as interested in working with me as I am with them. It is not always necessarily your fault. It is not always their fault. Sometimes it just doesn't work, and
there's no fault involved.
Exactly. And you can't, as hard as it is, and I'm still working with it as well, you cannot put blame or hold it against people that either don't want to collaborate with you or aren't interested in you as a creator. It is hard to look past because obviously you're going to take it personally. Sometimes, though, how do I phrase this? It's hard to not take it personally because it's your content. But at the end of the day, if you wanted a collaboration, it was business.
There you go. I was just about to say personal and business are separate. Yep. Personal and business is separate all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I can ask somebody, "Hey, do you want to collab?" And they're like, "I don't really have time, sorry." And that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a personal attack, but that goes with making friends in the VTuber community as well. Like, if somebody wants to be friends with you, and I don't know if this has happened to you, Roy, but this happened to me multiple times, and it's super annoying. Where somebody will come up and they try to, they want to be friends with you, but I don't have the capacity for that right now.
Yeah.
So they'll just keep pushing and be like, "Hi, Pumpkin, hi, hello, I'm over here. I want to be friends." You can tell that they're grasping at my dress and being like, "Pumpkin, I want to be friends." And I'm like, I just don't have the capacity and time for that right now. Or maybe you're just not somebody that I personally feel comfortable with or vibe with. It's not a personal attack, but you have to remember that relationships are a two-way street. Relationships involve two or more people.
Yeah.
And, if I'm not okay with being friends or wanting to do collaboration for any means necessary, that's not a personal attack on you. That just means that this is a decision I've made for myself, and you can't change that.
Yeah.
You can't change my mind on that decision. So it's just like thank you for your time, move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, people definitely should not take that as a personal thing. It's not personal. Content isn't personal. Content is content.
I have one last thing to tack onto that, and I know you agree with it because I just remembered it's a gripe of mine, and I heard you and Cab talk about it.
I'm ready. Give me the sauce, King.
To every VTuber out there, do not ask someone who's live for a collab.
Oh my god!
Do not go into somebody else's stream that is currently live and start talking about doing content with them. Don't talk about a donathon you have coming up. Don't talk about a birthday. Don't talk about a subathon. Don't talk about a charity event. It is not the right time. And it really, really, really negatively shines a spotlight on the streamer. Because if someone's like, hey, streamer, I'm raising money for my mom's leukemia funds or whatever. Do you want to like come to the charity event? And you're like, no. Then people are gonna be like, wow, Roy doesn't want to support this person's mom with their leukemia. Like, that's fucked up. You put them in a bad situation by doing that. You were in the wrong for doing that.
I have been in that situation, and I've never felt more infuriated at the situation. I've also been in a situation where I like to raid sometimes people that I'm not super familiar with. I usually raid people that are in my circle that are streaming at the time that I am finished.
Yep.
Now serving special.
Hey, Red!
Hey! Oh,
Speaking of people that got raided, I raided Red earlier.
Red Claw. Oh, he's bringing it back around!
Yeah, he's actually bringing this full circle. I raided him earlier.
Oh, there we go.
That's hilarious.
Welcome in, Raiders! My name is royzoga. Roll that R as always. Welcome to the Cup of Dusk. It's a cafe where I bring in various VTubers when they need it. We do a little improv sketch comedy combined with roleplay. But more importantly, we're running a cafe clinic, aka content clinic, with VTubing in mind, with the icon, the legend, the queen herself. It's PumpkinPotion!
Hey guys, how you doing?
I have to keep adding to it, you know?
By the end of this, it's going to take you 5 minutes to get through the
Probably.
full spiel. Yeah.
Honestly,
Okay, that'll be
probably.
good.
But welcome in, Red and Raiders. I hope you had a fantastic stream, Red. I think you were playing Cult of the Lamb earlier. I hope that is going amazing for you. Welcome to all the Raiders and the new follows. Guys, if you are interested, seriously, we are doing a content discussion here. If you guys are VTubers or interested in the VTubing world, type some messages in chat. You will immediately get 300 channel points for following, and it is 300 channel points to highlight a message. So if you're interested in having your questions read live on stream, go ahead and consider that. Pumpkin and I are going through a bunch of them. Yeah.
We're just tackling them one at a time as they come in.
Yep.
But the additional point that I wanted to make is I have, which really was funny when you came in, Red, because I was just talking about like raiding people, and then you're just like, hi, and I'm like, oh, speaking of people I've raided.
Thanks for buying.
Oh, Lion, thank you for gifting a sub to Red.
Nice. So I ended up raiding somebody because I usually raid within like the group of people that I'm familiar with, because I have a group in my community that we're all pretty much just subbed around to each other, because the people that are in my community are also subbed to this person, also subbed to this person. So I have the understanding and safety of knowing that when I raid into somebody else, I'm familiar with their content. I know that my community will be well taken care of and respected. But every once in a while, I will raid into somebody completely new, because it's nice to drop like a giant viewer bomb on somebody that's, like just starting out, or, just getting used to the VTuber community. It's a nice gesture to do. Well, I ended up raiding somebody, and I was not familiar with them. I was like, your model looks really cute. Let's, raid into this person.
Yeah.
The very first thing that I was very, very uncomfortable.
Oh.
I have not raided them since and won't again, because it made people in my community feel very, very uncomfy.
Oh, you're making me nervous here.
But what happened was I raided in with a sizable group of people, and the first thing they did was, oh my god, Pumpkin, oh my god, I love your stuff, Pumpkin, I love your stuff, which is flattering, and I appreciate that. Like, it's nice to have that.
Yeah.
And that would have been fine. And I started to engage and stopped as soon as they were like, oh my god, I love your stuff. We should collab and sing together sometime. I'll DM you on Twitter. And then immediately went into, so we're doing a subathon right now because my friend got a divorce.
Oh.
And this is happening and this is happening, and then proceeded to unload their friends' garbage about why they were getting divorced and why they needed the subathon to all of my audience. I have never felt so uncomfortable in my life, and even though it was not my fault, I went back to my Discord and I did an announcement to everyone with a formalized apology for sending them into that person and into that situation. because I'm a streamer, yes, but I am a community manager up and above everything.
Yeah.
And it is utmost importance to me that I take care of my community, their mental health, their wellness, and their emotional health. And if I am and even though it's not my fault what they said, I'm not responsible for that, but I am responsible for raiding over to a situation that put them in that particular situation.
I get that.
So I made a formal apology. Of course, everybody was like, Pumpkin, don't worry about it. But it was me as a streamer recognizing that it had made my community uncomfy. And that's something that's, I wanted to address.
Yeah.
But it's situations like that, like when Roy says, like, when you're on live stream and you're currently in the middle of a session, that to have people come in and say, hey, we should collab sometime. Don't do that. But it's more, but your wording is so important, because when you say stuff like we should or I want, that's aggressive wording. And that's decision-making wording without the consent of somebody else involved.
Yeah.
We should do this. Hey, Roy and I should go do a collab. Rather than him coming up to me and saying, hey, Pumpkin, I'd really love to do a collab with you. Would you be interested? That puts the power in my court where I can make a decision for myself of what I want to do and whether or not I want to engage with Roy.
Yeah.
So, choose your wording. Just be socially aware of the things that you say. And don't go into other people's streams and announce that you're streaming.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
That too.
I had 2 people do that to me today, and I didn't comment on it, but I was like, just as an etiquette thing, if you have to leave, just leave.
Yeah,
this
just
isn't an
leave.
airport. You don't need to announce your departure. So just, if you need to go, just go.
Yeah.
But to say like, hey, I need to go because I'm streaming in 5 minutes. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that. It's considered rude on this platform to do that. So
I got 2 things. So what I always do, you were talking about like power words essentially. For when it comes to like talking about collabs and things like that. If genuinely I just want to show interest in somebody that is either rated in or someone that just is chatting, I usually say something like, I would love to spend time with you more sometime. But it's, I would love to. It's not, I want to, we need to, you have to, we will. It's, I would love to. And it's...
That's how you approached me as well.
Yep.
And here we are.
And the second thing is, how are you feeling? How you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good.
Rye asked
that.
Rye wanted to make sure that we were doing good.
No, I am good. I have some nice green tea here.
Nice.
I've got some fans going.
Let's go.
Yeah. It's cozy. I like it.
Let's go.
We're good.
All right, let's continue on with questions then. So next we've got, I was reading things on TikTok's algorithm, which we did talk about earlier, favoring daily content and it being better to save up clips and post them in batches consistently rather than as they come out. But I'm unsure if I'd be better off starting new TikTok rather than trying to boost the old one. Any advice on how best to make use of it? Oh, so the latter part, I can't really tell you unless you have a prime name, like which is your actual name. So like I would never stop posting on royzoga on TikTok because it doesn't make sense, because brand recognition is very powerful and a very important thing.
Be the same across everything.
Yeah.
Marketing, be the same across everything.
In terms of saving up content, so TikTok is a weird beast when it comes to its algorithm. I at one point was posting twice daily. And now I'm only posting once daily just because it's easier to keep up with like clips. And I usually have maybe like 3 or 4 clips for like the days coming in case for some reason I need them or if something like that. I would say stay in the realm of recent content. Like just this is anecdotal because it's what's worked for me. Stay in the realm of recent content, because if you're showing stuff that's like from months ago, and then someone comes to your stream and like you have a completely different model or your stream looks completely different, they're going to think they made a mistake. They're going to get that weird feeling of like, oh, I came to the wrong stream. This isn't who I signed up for, or your content changed. Maybe you don't even do what you posted anymore. So staying close to that is important. But batches is like a hard thing. Like I would never have more than like 3 to 5 clips like stockpiled. Because if you do, you're preparing for more than what you need, unless you're going on vacation. And then I'm like, okay, that works. But like more than like 3 to 5 is like, that's a lot of planning in advance.
Yeah.
I don't think you would need it. I think it's consistency is key. And if you're trying to be like, oh, well, I need to plan this far in advance, just do one. Just do one daily to start. See what it starts. See how it feels. See how it works. See how your numbers do. TikTok is complicated. You're not going to game the system. It's not how it works. We're all at the mercy of algorithms when it comes down to it. You can TikTok and YouTube and other platforms smarter, but you're not going to game the system. It's not how it works.
No,
so just
I agree on that.
yeah, just post your content when it's relevant, and don't oversaturate your own content like I did.
Yeah, content fatigue is a thing.
Yes.
Content fatigue is a thing.
Yep.
If you post too much of the same thing, the same joke over and over, ha ha ha. It's the same joke you posted yesterday, only framed different. Only this time, it's the same joke as the other 2 days, but now you're wearing the color red. It's the same thing.
I almost want to try that
People
as
are
a
going to
social
get tired of
experiment. I think that would be funny.
Do like
Dude.
physically test content fatigue, but
Like-
just tweak small things.
Yeah, so it's
And watch the metric.
tell the same joke every single day for a year, but only make one change to the video
year?
each time. Just as an experiment, as a social experiment, and see how crazy it would be.
You come back at me at the 1st of September 2023, and you tell me how that goes because I want to see the metrics.
All right,
I'm
wouldn't that be
coming-
insane?
I'm coming at you
Oh my
next year,
God.
exactly this time. You're gonna get a ping on Discord at 1 a.m. and I'm gonna be like, Roy, a year ago, this happened. I don't know if you remember, but you owe me metrics.
Oh my god,
Pay up.
I would have to start it first.
Let's go. You
I'll-
owe me metrics.
I'll let you know when I start it. If I go full-time content creation, you can bet it'll happen. But until that happens, I don't have the mental capacity to do something like that.
No. You could get as much metric as you need after a full month of that.
All right. Yeah, I hope that helped. TikTok's weird. Algorithms are weird. You're not gonna game it. Just post what you got and make it relevant.
Yep. Stay on trend and stay relevant, and
Yeah.
as long as you're keeping up with those things, you're not posting the corn song that was funny last week 2 weeks later when everybody's over it. Like, you have to stay on top of trends. You have to.
The fucking corn song.
Don't even
corn!
It's corn.
Oh god, I only heard it for the first time the other night.
It's got the juice. It's got the juice.
I love it.
God.
Okay. All right. This is actually a pretty good one. And it's something that I myself have asked you during your content stream back in July.
Which is this? Which
Is
one
it
is this?
best to play popular games as soon as they drop when content creating or VTubing on Twitch, or wait a while, then play the games that are popular?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no. I know that's like a weird, convoluted answer, but the answer is yes and no. Because Fortnite is extremely popular. Yes. It's always going to be popular. Yes. Is Apex popular? Yes. However, if you are a smaller streamer and you go onto the Fortnite browse page,
Oh
and
god.
all of the top streamers are going to be at the top bar. Do you have any idea how far that people are going to have to scroll
Took me 20 minutes.
to the bottom to get to you, somebody that has 20 viewers?
I did
We did this on stream.
Hey, I did too.
We did this on stream, and it was almost 10 minutes
Yeah.
of scrolling all the way down on a Saturday to get to a streamer that was under 100 people. So
Damn.
so if you're gonna play Fortnite, you are competing with the big dogs.
Yeah.
And there's no way that somebody getting 25 is going to compete with somebody that streams to 12,000 active viewers.
Yep.
It's not going to happen.
Yep.
You'll notice that a lot of people are playing Cult of the Lamb right now. I was playing it. Red came in because he was playing it earlier.
I played it.
Yeah, exactly. You played it.
Yeah, I played it once.
There are people that like Taka's playing it. I can't remember who else is. Cab played it.
Yep.
We're all playing it right now. This is a new game that is popular, but it does not have the widespread appeal like Call of Duty, Apex, Fortnite, things that millions and millions of people are playing at any given time, and you're not going to have to compete with the ridiculous 12,000, 13,000 active viewership.
Yep.
Because you're just not. So you want to be as close to the top of that as you possibly can. Follow the trends, but be smart about it.
Yep.
That's why it's a yes and no. Play something that's popular and relevant. Like, if I just got a copy of Stray now, I might get some people watching me play it. I haven't played it yet. I wanted to, but I didn't have the funding to buy it at the time. So I missed my window where the Stray cat game was popular.
Yep.
And now everybody's on Cult of the Lamb because that's popular. So those are small indie trends that I can still get on the charts of. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just play it smart.
I did it with Stray. And I did it a little bit with Cult of the Lamb. And something that you said to me actually stuck with me a lot. When you play trend games, and I'm using air quotes when I say that, trend games like Stray or Cult of the Lamb.
Trend games.
Yeah, because Stray is already not popular anymore. Cult of the Lamb will not be popular in 2 weeks. I guarantee you.
No, it won't. Remember Elden Ring? Remember when Elden Ring came out and like everybody was playing Elden Ring?
Elden Ring lasted a long time.
Yeah, like now there isn't a single soul playing Elden Ring on my recommended feed. Dark Soul joke. I get you. I get you. I get you.
It is like Pumpkin said, it is important that you occasionally play trend games. Like I was in a very weird place when I talked to Pumpkin about this back in July because I content fatigued with just chatting related content. So I didn't play a lot of games, but I knew based on what Pumpkin was saying, because again, she's an industry icon and has been doing this for a long time, and she knows what she's saying because numbers, like regardless of her experience, and it is a good amount of experience and things to listen to, numbers don't lie.
They don't.
There are things that you can look at and trends that you can follow that are scientifically, mathematically proven to do well. Playing trend games in short bursts or in things of that nature can help. So like I played Stray, I did it one and done because I knew if I put a second stream into it, my numbers would plummet. In the same reason that I played Cult of the Lamb once on stream and I will not play it again because I know if I do it, I'll be competing with everybody else that's still playing it or that took a while to pick it up.
Well, the other thing with numbers is people forget.
Yep.
Because people don't know how to read numbers properly. Like not everybody does. Add 1 to the boop counter, please.
There we go.
The thing that people forget is in content creation and especially in community management, we add a 3-week timer to trying out new content.
Yep.
Every time that you play a game, like if you guys are doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you're like, I want to play this game, but I don't know if people are gonna like it. You have to take the risk and know that the first time that you try something, your numbers potentially may absolutely just plummet.
Yep.
That's just how it is. They're just going to plummet. But so, for example, I decide I'm gonna play Stardew Valley for sake of conversation.
There you go.
We're gonna play that on a Friday.
Sure.
The first Friday of the month.
On a Friday.
Yeah, I know. There's a reason I don't. There's a reason I don't stream on Friday.
That's a whole different topic, but yes, go for it.
Yeah, Friday is not a great day for me in my community, so I don't stream on Fridays.
Me neither.
But so let's say I stream on a Friday, and I go, I'm gonna play Animal Crossing. Cool. The first Friday that you stream Animal Crossing, after announcing you're gonna play Animal Crossing, one of two things is gonna happen. Factually, one of two things is gonna happen. You're either gonna retain the numbers or get higher, or you're gonna see your numbers drop, and that the latter is more likely to happen. But here's where the problem comes in. Most people go, oh no, I'm used to streaming to 100 people and now I'm only streaming to 30. I'm never gonna stream Animal Crossing again. Wrong. You are gonna stream Animal Crossing again. You're gonna stream it the second week of Friday. You're gonna stream it the third week of Friday. And then on the next month's Friday, you're gonna go back and you're gonna look at your entire month's metrics of the last 3 Fridays that you played Animal Crossing, and you're gonna compare them. Because if you are only doing Animal Crossing on one day and then go, oh no, it didn't work, you're actually not reading your metrics correctly. You are damaging. You are doing damage. So the reason that you don't have viewership, it could be a number of variables. It could be, hey, my community it's a holiday. It's a 4th of July or something. You know, people aren't going to be here watching your stream because they're out with their family. Is somebody from vshoujo doing some big reveal on the same day that you're playing Animal Crossing? They're probably going to go watch that. So these are all things that can be taken into consideration. Maybe somebody had a birthday and they're not going to be in your stream. These are things that you have to take into consideration. So if you stream Animal Crossing the next Friday, that's going to give you the information that you were missing. That's going to tell you what those variables were. Are they watching now, but they weren't watching last Friday? Okay, then it wasn't my content that's the problem. It's not me playing Animal Crossing. It's just that my community just coincidentally happened to be busy that Friday, and I misinterpreted that. So you have to do this for like 3 weeks. Pick a day, do your new content the same day, same time for 3 weeks. If you don't see an improvement, then it doesn't work for you. Move on to a different idea. They don't like Animal Crossing. They're not into Animal Crossing. Do something different. But if on that 3rd week you start to see the numbers go up, because now they know you're playing Animal Crossing on a Friday and they're kind of into it, you've given yourself an opportunity for growth to do that, and now you can do that content on your stream and people will enjoy it. But if you just look at that 1 week and go, well, the numbers sucked, I'm done, you're closing the door on an opportunity, and you're not looking at your metrics correctly.
So I am curious, because there are a couple games that I have done that with, that I have just gone, this is such a grotesquely huge drop, like obscenely huge drop. I don't think this is the right game for me or my community.
Yeah.
So
and that's a notable thing too. I mean, if you are a horror streamer, like if people know you for horror content, people know that I like horror games and I like spooky stuff. But once in a while, I do chill, comfy, spooky stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're a horror streamer, that's your brand. People know you as that, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm gonna play Stardew Valley. It's off-brand.
Yeah.
It's out of your demographic. People, you know your community, you know they're here for horror games, and you know that that's not a game they're probably gonna like.
Yep.
So you have to assess that, you know, and go, is this a game that people are into? Do my metrics, do my numbers show me that my community likes watching this stuff? And if you decide to play it anyway, you have to be prepared to know that those numbers are going to drop, because you have the data that tells you that before you even start.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how it was with so I think I either told you at the beginning of the stream or before we even started streaming, but like I experimented with 3 big popular games, which was Fortnite, Valorant, and Apex.
Those are real toughies, by the way.
Yes, I very much know that they are.
Trifecta of difficult.
So, but the reason that I picked them is because I know that I need to play at least something that's quote unquote mainstream. I need to have something to shake up my schedule, something that I can go to and people can expect me to play on occasion. So I was like, these are 3 big games that people play consistently. Fortnite performed terribly. Valorant performed terribly. Apex performed not that badly, and then a second time performed not badly. So that tells me, or at least my assumption from that was, while my community might not have, like you were saying before, it's hard to gauge it off one stream, but because it was such a grotesque drop for Fortnite and Valorant, but it wasn't for Apex, and then again wasn't for Apex a second time, it says to me at least in that those 4 streams, tells me more so that my community probably likes Apex more than those other 2 games.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely, and now you have the data to back that up, because you have the numbers as proof. It's not just theorizing and assumption.
Yeah, theory crafting.
Yeah, essentially.
So picking games is hard.
Theory craft. Yeah. You don't need the theory craft. Twitch gives you the data.
Yep.
Twitch gives you every metric and KPI for your analytics that you need. You just need to learn how to physically interpret them. Interpret them and don't take them personally, because they are just numbers. They're not going to hurt you. They're not going to come out from underneath your bed. They're just numbers. But they are there to help you and to show you how to grow your community if you know how to read them right.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's how people get to partner.
Yeah.
They learn their metrics, they understand their numbers, and then they grow from that position.
Yep. Numbers are such an important thing. And so this is going to be a weird comparison. Bear with me, okay?
Okay. I got you. Go ahead.
I love fighting games. I am a fighting game nut.
Same.
One of the things that I love doing in fighting games is analyzing frame data so I can decide what my best options are. I have always been a numbers inclined person, and it's the reason why numbers are usually what dictate decisions. So like in a fighting game, let's say I blocked something. Okay, how plus is the opponent? Are they negative? Are they plus? Do I press a button now? Do I not? There are always these different situations, like thanking Jonah Scoot for the subscription. We appreciate you buying a cup of coffee. There are always these situations in fighting games where you have to actively decide based on numbers, or if you don't have the information, then gut feeling. But if you have the numbers and you have the feelings, you can make these informed decisions about what your next move is going to be. Content creation is 100% the same in that sense. When you get those numbers, you can make educated and informed decisions about what your next move is going to be. I have always loved that about fighting games, and it's something I love about streaming and content creation, because numbers don't have feelings, numbers don't lie, they will show you truth. You know, you can follow a trend on numbers, you can't follow a trend on feelings.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
Yep.
Thank you. Round of goddamn applause.
Let's go!
Let's go.
We won VTubing.
That is the absolute correct response to that.
Oh,
like
my goodness gracious.
Numbers don't have feelings, but the apprehension from the VTuber community of people like, I want to make partner, I want to grow, I want to do this, I want to have a big community, I want to stream to 500 people. These things are possible. But if you are too like, numbers, like, that is going to be a hard stop for you right there. Like, if you are not willing to look at your numbers, learn how to interpret those numbers, and what those numbers mean, what those percentages mean, and educate yourself on how to read them properly, because that's going to give you the data. It's going to tell you, it'll tell you demographics like where most of your people live. So I know I'm on stream right now. I'm not looking at my metrics, but I can tell you right now that 70% of the people in my community that watch me on a regular basis are from the United States, and the remaining are from Western Europe. I can tell you that right now because I know that metric, because Twitch told me so. I can tell you exactly the type of streams that they're into, like the type of content, whether they like art streams, whether they like Apex streams. I can tell you what other communities that they follow, so that I can go and look at those streamers and go, what do we have in common? Why do they like this streamer? What's cool about this streamer? Make connections, share our communities around, get bigger. These are all metrics that Twitch provides to you, and people are just weirdly afraid of looking at their metrics. They want to have their little 3-hour, 5-hour stream and then go, okay, I'm done streaming. I'm done for the day. I don't have to do anything else. Numbers scary. We're done. You can't be like that. You can't.
There we go. Another big thing that VTubers mess up with. They think streaming is the only thing they have to do.
Oh my God, that's cute.
There we go.
That's adorable.
Add it to the list.
If you think that my job stops at the end of a Twitch stream when I hit stop streaming and I just walk off and do my own thing and hang out on the couch all night, oh my God, you are in for a nice surprise.
Yeah, they are really.
Yeah, your days off will be spent editing your work. Your days are going to be spent rewatching your VODs and learning from it. Your days are going to be spent clipping. Your days are going to be spent doing collaborations with other people, writing emails, doing like back-end work, like fixing up your content, doing TikToks, making sure that you're scheduling all of your stuff to go out at the right time, checking in with your business partners if you're working with people like G Fuel or Advanced G whatever it is.
Advanced GG. Or !GSupps in chat, and you'll be able to get a nice discount from GamerSupps using code ROY. There we go.
There you go. Perfect segue. See, but you know, like, Roy has to talk with these people regularly. Because that's a partnership that we have to maintain. And we are one person doing all of this. And most of the work is done off stream. The time that we get to stream, that's the fun part.
Yup.
The stream is like the fun hangout part, but the real work begins behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So yeah, you will be doing 10-hour days.
Yeah.
You will be doing 11-hour days.
Yeah.
On the daily.
Yeah.
Like that's just the reality.
And that's why people are screaming at me for my schedule.
Hey, you know,
Ditto.
if you play games heavily as a VTuber, should you designate a genre so that people can associate with you that genre? Depends. It depends on what you want to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like if you're a horror VTuber and you want to be known for horror, play horror stuff.
Horror stuff.
Be like a ball.
but I will note one word of caution though. It is super cool to have that theme. People know that I like spooky stuff. People know that I'm into what I like to refer to as comfy horror. I like horror, but I'm not talking like I'm going like gore, terrifying, like god-awful jump scare level horror. I'm talking like trick or treat type of horror. You know, not that I don't play horror games and do bloody, gory stuff, but it's a comfy level over here. People expect that from me. So if you play variety of games, your community comes to expect that you play a variety of games and that you'll be trying different things, as opposed to if I am a Fortnite streamer and I am not playing Fortnite, my community gets irritated. Because there is an expectancy as a Fortnite streamer that you will play Fortnite. And when you decide that you are burnt out on Fortnite and you don't want to play Fortnite anymore, you have built your entire persona and expectation and branding around the fact that you play Fortnite, and you may notice a drop in viewership or unfollows because people are only interested in Fortnite, and I want to play Paladins now.
Comes back down to the content fatigue thing too, because if you only give your audience one thing and then you get burnt out or they get burnt out or both, like me, then it's hard to transition to the next thing. Like, I'm trying to play games now, but the numbers for it are hard, but I know I have to stay with it because like the growth that I'll see from it in the long term is more important than the short-term hit that I'm taking right now.
Exactly.
So
cultivate a community of people that want to grow with you and experience new things with you, rather than depend on a singular piece of content.
Yeah.
Because there's a million horror VTubers, there's a million Fortnite streamers, there's
a million bunnies.
Yeah. Like how many times do you get like the actually that's a really great question. How many, when people see you, like your model specifically, Roy, do you get any like, oh look, it's the blank VTuber? Like what do people associate you with based upon your looks? Do they do that?
So I get a couple things. Most people know me from the cafe, so generally my association is like it's the bunny with the cafe, or they think it's a bar and they say bartender, or they know I'm a barista and they say barista, or on the extremes it's discount Taka or Costco Taka.
See, I find like, but they don't look at you and they're like, oh, it looks like they don't misinterpret that you're a bunny. Like they don't misinterpret like, oh look, you have horns, or like you don't get physically misinterpreted, right?
So I have recently,
by a couple. It's Viera from Final Fantasy 14.
Oh no, thank God not. No, recently, funny enough, I had a couple people mistake me for a horse.
The what? How?
They're like, yo, your ears just look like horse ears. And I'm like, what? I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
But no. Yeah, no, I usually don't, funny enough. I think maybe I'm just lucky.
Watch me,
with
Roy.
Design.
Watch me, Nene. Sorry. I will leave. Oh
my God, you're fine.
How do you let this trash on your stream?
Star Dragon Nova brings up a good point about what is it? On that, I personally would advise against it unless you know you're going to stick with it, or at least make it clear that you can branch out, especially if you're going into major genres like shooters and fighting games. I've seen Major League COD and Overwatch communities lose, I kid you not, up to half of their community because they left those games. Yeah, I mean, like, that's what we were talking about. Cultivating the audience cultivating audience expectations is a real thing, and it's another part of content creation that I think people don't understand.
Not only content creation, but that leans very, very, very heavily into my field of community management.
Mm-hmm.
As an influencer, as a streamer, everything that you do, we were actually talking about this before we started. Like, every single thing that you do cultivates the type of community that rallies around you. So, when I started on the scene, I placed my boundaries very early. And it's to the point now, I mean, again, the experience under my belt in doing this, but now it's to the point where I actually am comfortable enough that if for any reason I needed to take a vacation, I took off 2 weeks and I just took off somewhere, my Discord and the moderators that I've placed and trained, because I train my moderators by like one-on-one with the expectations and things that I want. But I could leave for 2 weeks and not feel like I even need to stress or worry about a single thing going on in that Discord. And anybody else that comes into streams, I very rarely, if ever, need to make disciplinary action in my streams, period. Because my community has been curated in such a way that they know what I expect, they know what's acceptable, and they know what isn't acceptable. So if somebody comes in and says something, the first thing out of their mouth is going to be like, don't do that, Pumpkin doesn't like that. I don't even need to speak up.
The community knows.
Because the community just knows and respects that, because they care about me the same way that I care about them. So you're always going to cultivate the type of community that they, is based around you. So if you act a certain way, if you behave a certain way, if you talk a certain way or say things a certain way, your community will go, the streamer does these things, therefore it's acceptable that I do these things in that space. And so when you decide to go, I don't want to be this anymore, I don't want to act this way, I don't want to talk about these topics, and you start straying away from that, you're going to have a very, very difficult time changing the behavior of the community, because you have already set the standards of what they think is acceptable and what isn't, and now you're changing the rules.
Yeah.
So that, if you're going to build a community, build it solidly with the expectations and behavior that you set an example of. You are the role model here. So if you start, like, if you want to run a family-friendly stream, but you're cussing all the time, chat's gonna start cussing because they see you doing it and now it's acceptable.
Yeah. So,
this
makes a perfect segue for something that we mentioned before stream started and you thought would be an interesting topic to talk about. With community cultivation and things of that nature. Now, again, I promised that I would be 100% transparent during these streams, and it is something that I feel like I can at least talk about now, because the cafe has been going on for just over 7 months. The cafe launched at the end of January of this year. So the big thing that I've noticed, when we first started the cafe, things started out very, very lewd and very adult, and the humor was very adult and NSFW, and we leaned hard into that. And I still firmly stand behind a lot of the things that I've said, done, acted, and especially the people that I support. Because content creation is hard regardless, and regardless of the type of content creation that you're doing, it's still valid. However, I have noticed as time has gone on with the cafe, I've realized that the cafe, specifically the Cup of Dusk, these streams, can be more than just relying on that sexual undertone or that connotation or that blatant in-your-face screaming dicks joke. Because there are other content creators that I do want to bring in that may not adhere to these types of things. There are quote-unquote say-so streamers or SFW streamers and content creators that I want to bring in, and I don't want them to feel the pressure or the need to adhere to being lewd or 18 plus. And unfortunately, there have been several occasions where we've had to take serious moderation action. Now, it dives back into the whole cultivating community and expectations and things like that. And we have been moving towards the less forced sexual humor, because I want people to realize it's okay to make some jokes sometimes. But if you're coming into a stream and just like saying the most obscene, dirty nonsense ever to someone you've not only never chatted to before, but it's your first message in my chat, it's inappropriate and completely unacceptable. And it's a reason why we had to ban a certain joke from going on in chat, because I've had multiple SFW guests with chat as a wall of this certain phrase. It's very important to me that people feel safe here so that we can put on the best content possible. And not everything has to rely on one aspect. Not everything has to be lewd, not everything has to be dry or say so or SFW, but things do have to be safe. And if there's ever a time that a guest feels unsafe or unwelcome, then I'm messing up. So it's my job as the content creator to make sure that you guys also behave and understand what I expect from the community. Because we're all here to have a good time, and it's only fun for everybody until it's not fun for one of us.
Well spoken. Very, very eloquently placed.
Oh, gotta breathe.
But it's, first off, I think that's a great approach. Second, I want to state that how much I respect you for saying that and addressing your community in such a transparent and honest way. Because it's really important for a streamer to be able to entertain, but realistically, the streamer is also part of the community.
Yep.
Even though that we lead the community, we are still a part of that community, and we want ourselves to feel safe and comfortable with everybody in chat. So it's as much to protect us and make us feel comfortable and feel safe as it is for everybody else in the community for the exact same reason. But if you are honest with your community, if you are transparent where acceptable to be so, you will find that you will have a lot more support, a lot more kindness, and a lot more consideration in your community in general. You will see a lot less having to step in or take moderative action. You will see a lot less disciplinary action when you establish those boundaries. And just so chat knows, so I'm being transparent, before I even came on the stream with Roy, we hung out for a bit, and he asked me some, like, I don't want to say like personal questions, but personally, like professional personal questions of, are you okay talking about this type of content? Are you okay with the potential of there being like 18 plus like adult jokes or anything like that? Does that make you feel comfortable? If not, like, you know, and he went through very thoroughly and talked with me about my expectations, my comfort level, where my boundaries were. And that's how every streamer should be when they're collaborating with somebody else, because it's respectful and it's very, very considerate. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that, Roy. And I just want you to know that. I think that that's wonderful.
Of course.
Do that for people.
Yeah, it's, I don't think I mentioned it to you, but I've been very transparent about this on stream. That's what I've been transparent the most about. It was sharding.
Yeah, that was actually one, like, do you want me to mute the sounds so that they're not offensive to you? And I was like, nah, it's fine.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
that's gonna be chat. They're gonna do what they want to do anyway, regardless.
Yes, it's very true. So first of all, while we're on this tangent, Draco Lancer and the I Lord YT, thank you so much for the subs. I really appreciate the support. The big thing that I've been super transparent with my community is me not being perfect, and why when it comes to things like the cafe, boundaries are super important to me. Because before the cafe existed, and I kind of mentioned this to you before, I didn't really know what the type of content I wanted to do. And this can lead into our next subject as well. I had a very different expectation about what VTubing was. When I first got into,
we all did.
Yeah. When I first got into VTubing, I was exposed to VTubing through different friends that had different types of content. And some of the content ended up being very lewd or risque or just downright NSFW. And that's totally fine. However, The thing that wasn't fine was my assumption that all VTubers were like this. I made this assumption that everyone was like this.
Yep.
And moving from there, I made friends that then I made feel very uncomfortable. And I'm very lucky and very fortunate that they told me in private that I had made them feel uncomfortable. And after like an immediate 5-minute oh my god situation, I was like, wow, I really have been like this whole time. And I had an identity crisis. And that's when I ended up making the cafe. But it's always been very important to me since that friend reached out to me and told me, hey, you made me feel very uncomfortable. It's super important to me that I make sure that doesn't happen again. That I make sure people have boundaries and that they're respected. Because
you had an experience and you had growth from it because you learned how to communicate. You didn't take it personally as a personal attack, but you used that interaction with your friend telling you that they were uncomfortable as personal growth to improve yourself and improve your content. And I really appreciate that.
I'm super fortunate, honestly. I'm very lucky that not only I have great friends but understanding people supporting me. They've actually been to the cafe too. So it really worked out. And I know that they're happy with the quote unquote progress that I've made in that sense. But again, it's the big thing that I know a lot of other VTubers, not just me, also struggle with that. With the whole separation of what is acceptable. And here's where we switch into probably the biggest topic for the night.
Yeah. This is...
Do I have to be lewd or can I be say-so? And I know we kind of started teasing about this conversation before the stream started.
Yeah, we did. It's a heavy topic and it's one that people feel very personal about, which is what makes it so difficult. But the reason that I brought this up specifically is because I have been seeing a lot in the VTuber community, people talking about the whole lewd versus safe for work, not safe for work streamers versus safe for work streamers. Let me preface this by saying that not safe for work is not my usual content. I'm an adult. I'm in my 30s. It's normal for me to make a dick joke here and there. But my entire brand isn't dick jokes. You see what I'm saying? Content fatigue. There we go. People get really tired of hearing your mom after every response. The same way that they get tired of hearing dick joke after every single thing that they say. It gets old really quickly and people leave. So if you're basing your entire content on that, it's what I like to call flashbang content. It's quick, it's funny, it's over, but at the end you've got nothing underneath it. You've got nothing underneath it other than just that content. But there have been a lot of talks about lewd content creators, again, which I have no problem with. But how that content has mentally affected and changed the landscape of the community as a whole. There are safe for work streamers, or family-friendly streamers, however you'd like to put it, that have taken a bit of a skewed, I don't want to say incorrect, but I want to say skewed,
I think skewed
perspective on how these things are. There's many different types of content, and that content is within the Twitch TOS acceptable. However, your growth is not because of lewd VTubers. If you are struggling to grow, your perspective is skewed if you are saying, because because lewd is the new meta, I'm not getting views and I'm never gonna grow because this is what it is now. That is you placing blame somewhere else. That is escaping your responsibility. Is what that is. That is misplacing your responsibility. The reason you're not growing is because you are not researching the reasons why. You're not looking at your metrics. You're not going back at your VODs, watching your VODs. Because if you watch your own VODs on Twitch and you're bored, other people are going to be bored. So you have to find out, you have to do some self-digging and self-research to find out, why am I not growing? The data is there if you know how to read it, but you can't just blame, oh, it's lewd tubers, and because I don't have my tits out, that I'm not going to get views.
Yep.
That's not true. I am not a sexual streamer. I'm an adult streamer. I am 18 plus, because some of the content talks and things that we talk about are of an adult nature. I talk a lot about the video game industry. I talk a lot about the sexism, and I talk a lot about the discrimination in the video game industry with people that are in the LGBTQ community, which is a lot of it. And that's heavy topics and triggering topics for some people. So I have an 18 plus on it, but I'm not sitting here with my tits out. You know, like, I'm not bouncy all over the place. It's not my thing. But I never take that and go, I'm not gonna get views and I'm not gonna be as a successful streamer because I'm not wearing lewd attire, because I'm not making dick jokes, because I'm not flashing the stream. You know, my content comes from hard work, from dedication, and understanding my craft, but I'm not misplacing that blame on other people. So it's acceptable if you want to be a lewd tuber. That's your content. That's your business. I keep my eyes on my own lane.
Hey.
I drive in my own lane. I don't care what you're doing. If it works for you, that's great. The only thing that's problematic, and this is the only thing that's problematic, is when you have a situation where you are breaking the terms of service and then have the audacity to get upset about it when Twitch takes disciplinary action. For example, when you are a partner, you, and Roy knows this too now.
Yep.
Like, when you are a partner, you sign an agreement, a legally binding document with your real name and real credentials that say, these are the rules of Twitch, and I will abide by these rules. I will have my shit removed. Simple as that. So when you become a partner, you know these because you read it and you signed it. So when you have a VTuber putting on this big marketing show, because that's what it is. It's a big marketing, I got banned, I can't believe I got banned. How did I get banned? No, I got banned. And then you go back 5 seconds on their last stream and they're nearly nude, jumping up and down in front of a camera for views. It's not really a question of why you got banned.
Yeah.
Your nipples are barely covered. And there are 13-year-olds on this platform because yes, they're like 18 plus streams, but the legal sign up is 13 years old. So when they see that type of content, Twitch goes, this is in breach of the contract that you agreed to, and they ban them. There is no, I don't know why we didn't get banned. There is none of that. We have a fast track. As partners, we have a priority fast track to support. So you can just ask them. This isn't like a big mystery. So, you know, if you are, you know, an adult content streamer, you have to still abide by those rules. And there are some very fantastic people that handle this very professionally. I look at Project Melody, for example. You know, she has her streams where she talks about you know, working in the adult industry, and she handles this and approaches this from a very mature and professional way, where she talks about the topic, talks about not safe for work content, but isn't just flapping it everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There are ways that you can approach these things. But do I think that your growth, that the reason that you're not seeing growth is because of somebody else's content? I don't think that that's true at all. I think that your growth is your responsibility, not somebody else's.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately what it boils back down to. And that's where we 100% both agree with each other. And I think most people, honestly, I think the VTubing community feels skewed in that regard. And I don't get why. But I mean, like you and I have said multiple times, we're numbers people. Like
we're numbers people.
We look at numbers and we go, this is why you're growing, this is why you're not growing, this is successful, this is not successful. Being lewd versus not being lewd does not make or break VTubing. It doesn't make or break a content creator. It doesn't make or break anything. It is a choice of how you present yourself. It is a choice of the content that you make. And if someone is claiming that the only reason that XYZ got partner, or the only reason XYZ has views is because they have their tits out, as many people often say, they're wrong. There are other reasons as to why. If it were literally that simple, then why don't you go do it? Like literally, if it's so simple.
Roy, that takes work.
Oh my bad. Let me just go back to complaining about how, you know, only the people with barely any clothes on are tackling.
But I think that, and I've also seen, which is super strange to me, I've seen people actively in Twitter threads regarding this topic blame vshoujo and members of vshoujo for this, and I'm like, have you ever been to a fruit stream? Ever?
Yeah. Or an Iron Mouse stream? Or a Zentrea stream? Or a Yanner stream? Like,
I mean, Yanners can bend the jokes a little bit.
I will say.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, verbal stuff, but like when it comes to your content, every single person is different.
Yeah.
And ultimately, people are progressing and getting larger and growing because their content is refining. They're getting better. They're seeing improvement. They're following trends to see what's popular. What are the jokes right now? Everyone's playing Elden Ring and the joke is no maidens. Yeah. So we're gonna title all our stuff "No Maidens."
Mm-hmm.
You know, and make the face. God, I love the model that I can do this with that model. Oh my god.
What, the no maidens? Oh, yeah, it's so good.
The no maidens face.
Yeah, I love it.
But if I made that face now and I made that joke now, unironically, people would be like, Elden Ring was popular like 4 months ago. So, you know, it's one of those things. You got to stay on top of trends, and it's not what other people are doing. It's what you need to do.
Yeah. So I got a funny story for you because I saw Redclaw comment this, and I can pivot off this. So
I'm ready. Let's go.
Redclaw said, I've seen VTubers who are far more lewd than some of the more well-known ones, and yet sit at under 10 views. It's more than just damn lewdness that makes other VTubers big. But it also shows that the damn model isn't a guarantee. Super correct. Based take, 100% correct. Do you remember back in April?
I love you, Red, for that take. Thank you.
100% Red. Do you remember back in April? There was a VTuber, there still is. I mean, she's still around. I love her. She's my model rigger. Stella Luna. She did like the whole, like, we're canceling VTubers today. What's your VTuber hot take? Do you remember the trend at all?
I do. Okay. There were certainly some interesting ones.
So this is the first time I heard of False, because my take got featured in his video on it.
Okay, so what was it?
My take was, you need to make content to grow as a content creator. Which isn't it shouldn't be a hot take. But wait. It wasn't supposed to be a hot take. It was just supposed to be, this is obvious. Like, make content. Someone legitimately replied with basically saying, yeah, but you also need to get lucky, and if you're a woman or have a really nice looking model, it's easier. And I've never done this before. I've never done this on Twitter before. I went Reddit warrior on them, and I gave them like a 17-page reply. I'm not like 17 tweet reply. And I was like, you know what?
My body.
You know what I did? I busted out the numbers. I went right to the numbers because first of all, they were like, okay. They went, yeah, well, if you're just a girl or girl presenting, it's so much easier to be a VTuber. And so, you know what I did? This was before Iron Mouse's subathon, by the way. I went, yeah, go look at the top 20 earners on Twitch right now and tell me their gender. None of them were female. Not a single one of them. Maybe not even top 30 at the time. And it's still like that now. It's like maybe a couple in top 50 at that, maybe 3. And I think that's being generous.
But that just goes and adds further on to the point that I was making before, is back then it was, oh, it's because you're a girl, or it's because it's this, or it's because this, it's because of your model, it's because of this. And now that same exact mentality has morphed and shifted into, oh, it's because they're lewd. It's any excuse that you can make to not do the damn work yourself.
Exactly.
Whatever you can do to deflect your responsibility of just not doing the damn thing.
Yup.
And until you do the damn thing, you will have nothing to show for it except for just like hollow level complaints. But model means nothing.
Yeah.
Model means nothing.
100%.
I could come out here with a stick figure. Model means absolutely nothing. You want like point.
Hit me.
Point. Okay.
Oh, thanks, Min, for the sub to Mossy Burger.
Hi, old model me. Hi. I made this myself. This was my first model. It's not rigged properly, doesn't look right, but it didn't matter. Didn't matter. And you know why it didn't matter? Because my content was good. The stuff that I made was good. People were interested in the quality of the things that I output rather than what I looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. Easy, right?
It's true.
Easy.
I can tag on that too, because I mentioned before the whole I opened the cafe 3.5 months before I got this model and had it actually barista themed.
And now I look like this.
And now I look like this.
8 months later.
Let's go!
I know you don't have arms, but I'm gonna high five you anyway.
Let's go! I'll go get my VR trackers.
Wait a minute, I got it. I have an idea. I'm gonna hold up my hand.
Hit me.
And you're 2D, so you can spin.
Oh! I got this.
Yeah, if you just like move a little bit, I might be able to high five your ear. That might happen. We might, yes!
So you just smack my face. There you go.
There you go. Right.
Perfect. I mean, spin! We spin!
See, as a 3D model, I'm unable to spin. So I the best I can do is move my hands, I guess.
Oh no.
But I can also do weird stuff like put my hands through my body and weird stuff.
It's true.
Yeah,
I seen it.
That's about the best I got.
I seen it.
Best I got.
I seen it.
Best I got.
Yeah, I think that's like the biggest take that I had for the night. Like the lewd versus so and the you actually need to make content and things like that. But do you have any last minute things that you want to tackle or address?
I think that covered pretty much everything that I wanted to touch base with and more for the community wise. Like as far as answering like their questions and whatnot. To be honest, I didn't have anything else pressing aside from that one thing that I was like, your content is your responsibility, period. Yeah, that's about it.
Understandable.
Unless you add into yourself.
No, I think the lewd versus so was kind of like the last thing that I was like thinking about, really. Honestly. Hey, Black Blood, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Days.
Hey.
I hope that's how you pronounce that.
Pew pew pew.
Or well, I guess we'll find out at some point. No, I think that's pretty much it. Unless Chad has any last second like questions, anything like that. You know, finger guns always. We love the finger guns.
Always,
we love them.
always finger guns.
Always finger guns. A big thing is what I notice is sharing and promoting your content as well, because I stream, but I don't have a Twitter.
Whoa.
Oh.
Thanks for buying somebody else.
Lewd VR couple, thanks for getting a sub to Ryuhi. That's one of my mods. As well, because I stream, but I don't have a Twitter, and I'm lazy in promoting in appropriate sections in Discord. That doesn't do anything. I'm gonna be perfectly frank with you. The first thing I do whenever I join a Discord is I turn off at everyone and I mute the self-promotion tab.
Yep. Promoting yourself in Discord will not do anything.
Not at
but
all.
Also keep in mind that no one is going to promote you except you.
Yeah. That's true.
Nobody is going to do that except you.
It's true.
But there's an etiquette involved.
Yeah.
You need to have a Twitter. You need to have other platforms where you can put out, hey, I'm live. Hey, I'm doing this thing. Hey, I'm doing a collab with Roy on Tuesday. Like, these are all things that you have to have out because people don't know when you're going live and they don't know when to find you unless you tell them.
Yep.
Second of all, do not be doing this in other people's content.
Yes.
So don't go into other people's Discords and say, "Hi, I've never talked in here before, but I'm also a streamer, and this is my content. Here's my schedule for the week."
Oh my god.
That's very intrusive, and especially don't do that in other people's streams. You never go into other people's spaces with the intent of self-advertising.
Yeah.
You do that on your own platforms. That includes going into other people's streams, like as a community, just in general. And as I said this earlier, but we've had people come in, but just reiterating my point of when you go into somebody else's stream, you don't go, "Hey, great stream, have fun. I have to go set up for my own stream now. Bye."
Yeah, not okay.
You don't do that.
Mm.
And it's going to make people dislike you very, very quickly. That's just a general Twitch etiquette across the board, no matter what you're in, whether that's VTubing, face camming, whatever. You do not say, "Hey, I'm going to my stream now," or "Hey, I gotta set up for my stream. See you later. It's my turn to stream." Because it's just mom said that I could have the Twitch now.
Yeah.
You just don't do that. You just don't do that. It's just considered very, very rude to other streamers.
I'm surprised more people don't get that. Yeah.
That had happened to me twice today. I'm over it.
Yeah. So I saw I believe it was Frisk from Discords originally mentioned it with the whole self promo thing. It doesn't matter if it's in Discord. While it's appropriate to advertise there and self promote in the self promotion areas, it doesn't do anything for you. I'm gonna be 100% honest for you. You are not getting people to go into your streams or your content by going to self promotion.
No.
Wait, I got this. Hold on. The best way to grow on Twitch is to create content on other platforms like TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. That way people can find your content on more easily searchable and discoverable platforms. Clap it! That's the best way to advertise your streams. Make clips, make content, get people from other platforms that aren't Twitch to come from the outside and go in. That is the best way that you will ever grow on something like Twitch.
Yeah,
clip it and
ship
it.
I will confirm entirely that when I join somebody's Discord, the first thing I do is mute the @everyone and mute that channel.
Yep.
And everybody does the same thing.
Yep.
So if there are Discords out there that people will throw out there and they're like, "This is a promotion Discord. Everybody just come in and promote your stuff." Everybody wants to promote their stuff and then be like, "Cool, I put the tweet out there, bye."
Yeah.
And they don't read anybody else's. It doesn't work. It's not good marketing. It's not efficient marketing.
Yep.
And you have to think smart with that stuff. But you have to promote yourself. No one else is going to do it but you. So you have to learn how to do it. And you have to not be afraid of putting yourself out there.
Yep. 100%.
There's no place for insecurity when it comes to marketing yourself. There's no room.
That's very true.
There's no room.
Very true, very true. Well, Pumpkin, I think that about wraps up this week's, or this month, I should say, Content Clinic. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time to not only spend with me, but to share this wisdom with so many other content creators and would-be VTubers. Hopefully, we gave you guys some good pieces of knowledge, and really appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, you're more than welcome. I had a really good time, and I appreciate you inviting me out to hang out with you and hang out with the community.
Absolutely.
That's one of the things that I feel is really important, that if we talk about these things and we discuss what goes on behind the curtain, more people are educated, and as a result, we see a healthier, more communicative community of healthy-minded content creators.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. But don't forget, guys, I didn't do this alone. Like I said, Pumpkin was obviously a huge part of this. She was the other half of the equation. Be sure to go check out her content. You can check her out on Twitch and on Twitter. Pumpkin, when's your next stream?
My next stream is going to be Thursday, as a matter of fact. I don't know what we're doing on Thursday. I think if I have to look at my calendar again, but I think we're doing a Just Chatting on Thursday, and because I will not be streaming my usual weekend this weekend, so it's a little bit of a shorter week for me. But yeah, I see you guys Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Hell yeah. We love to hear that. All right, guys. That is going to do it for us tonight. We're going to go ahead and raid Fleshy. I don't know if you know her. Fleshy.
I think we've met.
She is an awesome VTuber that is just coming back from a small hiatus. And she does a bunch of amazing art. She's an amazing personality. She's just great. Great people all around. So we're gonna go ahead and raid them.
Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, if you're gonna participate in the raid, be sure to use the following raid command. And if you're not a sub, be sure to use the secondary raid command. Guys, thank you again for being here. I will be back tomorrow, 10 p.m. CDT. It's cafe night featuring Luca Jin and Prism Splay. So you're not gonna want to miss it. It's gonna be chaotic. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be wacky. I'll see you guys later. Good night, everybody.
Bye.